Bam. Is that recording? Hey, everybody, this is Podcastforwe. I was looking at this camera.
You better put it away. You should like hide it somewhere so you don't look at it.
Well, no, I'm looking at the camera. I put the camera pointing
okay.
at me, not this camera. So I can switch if I want. Anyways, hey, this is Podcastforwe, a podcast for us as well as a podcast for you. Here we are, hosts K-Dog and Eber, getting together, talking about the shit that is great, the things that are awesome, the things that are making me wrong for the long run. So let's just get into it. I was very raw. This is November 16th, 2020. We kind of know who our president's going to be.
Dude, Kevin, I don't know if you watched it again, but I did not want to be on the pod as we were watching those returns come in.
Oh, yeah.
I was so depressed. I was like,
You mean in the beginning when we were doing a podcast while shit was coming in?
Yes, and it was coming in terribly.
Yeah, well, it was weird. I mean, depending on where you're standing, you know what I mean? What side of the fence you're on.
Also, we weren't listening to it.
That's true.
It wasn't until a couple hours later, and they were saying, "Okay, we kind of expected this. You know, we expected the numbers to come in Trump first, and then Biden later."
Mm-hmm.
And the rationale was, and it made total sense to me, was people listened to the guy that they were going to vote for. If they listened to Trump, Trump was telling them, mail-in voting is bad. They're going to lose a bunch of ballots. Vote in person, basically, right? That the in-person votes are going to be the ones that are going to matter. Biden, if you're listening to Biden, he's saying, hey, vote safe. You know, whatever you do, vote safe. You know, stay away from crowds, wear masks. If you could vote early, vote early. So it was obvious that the candidate who was telling their people, you know, how to vote, that's how the votes were going to come in. But it's just, it has been scary to see that it was exactly what Trump said too. He said, yeah, you know,
Fraud.
We don't want somebody to be winning on the first night, but you know what? It's because whoever was setting up Trump's campaign or whatever, they're playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. They said we need to game this so that the real day voting comes in and we can say at the beginning that we won, or we could say that we won, you know, and make them fight to get it back. Just like with Bush. Mm-hmm. The problem there was that Al Gore conceded when he shouldn't have. He really shouldn't have, because it came down to within 537 votes or some bullshit.
Yeah, but like Bush had like some really good lawyers. Like I don't feel like the same lawyers on Trump's side in the sense like maybe
he had a really good group. They tried to do a bunch of the same things that Bush's group did too, like raiding the polling places to try and pressure them to stop the count. There's a really good documentary. I want to say it's on HBO. They talked about how they engineered the rush on the ballot counting place in Miami-Dade, and the commission that was running the recount. They were like, yo, shit's gonna go down. So they ended up stopping the count under pressure. Now the people that raided the recount offices were all Republicans, and they were all Republican operatives. They had all been called to one place and said, okay, you guys need to go in and pressure them to stop this fucking thing. Like, be rowdy. None of them were actually from that area that voted. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then certain people try to take credit for it, but even the Republicans, they're fighting over each other over whose idea it was. So that's how not a conspiracy theory it is. They openly admit it. Here, it seems like they try to do the same thing, only, you know, in Arizona, they were saying count all the votes. And in Pennsylvania, they were saying stop the count.
Yeah.
Which was really funny.
It's so funny that he lost Arizona. I just was like, yeah, dude, really?
Dude, he should not have talked so much shit about.
I know. I was like, really, man? Like McCain really
shot himself in the foot, man.
Yeah, dude. He was his own worst enemy. And then
he didn't need to do it.
I didn't think he'd win. I didn't think he'd lose in Pennsylvania. I really didn't. I thought he would win. Like, there's a lot of states where I was just like, yeah, he's gonna win. And then like he did it. And I was just like, well, fuck, I don't know.
I'm gonna admit, I thought we were looking at another 4 years.
Well, I assumed it from the beginning. I was wrong, but like it just made sense that he would win again.
You guessed wrong. You guessed wrong, but
I didn't guess wrong. I mean, like, it looks like he was gonna win from the beginning. You put some guy who is literally next to. I mean, he's like 77. He's like, I mean, like, anyway, most people who vote, like most people who vote think, like there's a lot of like, whenever you have the like I voted, that you're not a thinker. You're just kind of like going with the flow. But most people who are voting don't need to fucking, hey, I'm so awesome, I voted.
I put it on Instagram.
There's people who do their due diligence. You know what I mean? Most people are doing their due diligence for like the longest. So they were like, fuck, who do I want to vote for? Do I want to vote for a guy who's part of the establishment? I voted for this guy because he's breaking things up. And when you really take a look at what the things he's done, if you want to go that direction, you can say, yeah, he's did these things, and no, because the Democrats never argue right. They try to be virtuous and see how he's fucked up. But like, if you really want to break down things, like, how about the wall? He didn't really build the wall. Like, if you like the things he said he was going to do, he didn't really do. And then Trump, rather than illustrating the things he did do, he started talking about he would start fighting for what he would argue with Democrats. Democrats are like, yeah, you're racist. And then we talk about how he's not racist. And instead of illustrating the things he kind of did, and then instead of like real politics, like really attack his things, like, hey, yeah, you didn't really build the wall like you said you were going to do. You didn't make the president pay for it. You said you're going to do that. You didn't bring back coal. I mean, like coal didn't come back. You know what I mean? And fracking was always doing its thing, but there was no argument of 2 or 4 from it.
Yeah, you're right. They always seem to screw up their message.
Yeah, they do. Like
they needed to stay on points. They needed to pick points and challenge Trump to argue against it.
Because you really wanted to take away votes from the Republicans. So what you do is say, look, he's not doing the things you wanted him to do. I mean, like, if you wanted to do this, if you want to argue for it, like, yeah, he was all about white supremacy. Say that's what got him in there. I'm not saying that's what it is, but say that, yeah, white supremacy, that's what I want. You didn't do that. Right. And that's what you would argue. But then, Democrats wouldn't even argue about that. They would say, well, he likes gays. And then they go some other direction rather than talk about the shit that he really didn't do, that he said he was going to do.
Right.
And there you go. But the people who are going to vote are like, oh shit, here we go. We got Biden. He's next. It's smart to vote for a younger dude. I mean, like, these are your 2 choices. Usually get a smart vote for the younger of the older guys, and then hope for the best that he does another 4 years, because you want a continuation of message, right? You're like, we're already gone this far. Let's keep going. Fuck this guy, but fuck, we got to go. And that was the sentiment for most of them. And then, the racists, they got to do their thing. And then the other people who are just like, I don't know, they're wrong.
I'd rather have a Kamala Harris than a Trump, though.
I agree too.
And so I think it kind of maybe boiled down to that, because
no, I agree.
Because now I'm thinking, please don't die before Inauguration Day.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, no, it'd be automatic, wouldn't it? If he dies before the 20th of January, it would be her, right? No,
I don't know, because the electors can still change.
Ooh.
So I haven't really seen too many people look at that, right? But I mean, we needed Ruth Bader Ginsburg to last another 4 weeks. She couldn't do it. We need this dude to last 6.
Yeah, that's true.
Not even 6, like 8, right?
Yeah. But okay, all right. Anyways, I was wrong and I didn't guess. I knew from the core that he would be president.
You still weren't wrong. You understood how much of the country still supported him. I overestimated that. I did not think that there were 71 million votes out there for him. I thought this thing was going to be a landslide in the other direction. He still received the most votes of any Republican presidential candidate in history, right?
Yeah.
And I think per capita, by percentage, the most in the last 100 and something years. So there's still that much. I would hesitate to say that you were like wrong, right? Because you understood. I don't know if it's because of where you're living at right now or what, just how much there is a silent, maybe not a silent majority, but damn, there's a lot of people that aren't out there that are out there.
No, well, like, a lot of his politics are stupid, by the way, but they are there. There are things that are a thing to do. They're not racist or anything like that. And what happens is the media twists this shit around to make it into a thing where it's racism and this and that. I mean, like, protecting your borders is a thing. And if I'm media, I'm going to turn it into a racist.
It's easier to piss people off and tell them,
Yeah.
trust me, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
And the Democrats, I think they do attack on points, but it's almost too academic. And I'm not saying that people are dumb. What it is people ain't got time for that. People do not have time for that. You really do got to condense it and squish it down into something that people can understand. And they don't tend to play into the anger thing.
You know what? No, I'm going to expand on what you said. I never really saw it in that way because I always thought they were just dumb. But you're right. They take a complicated issue, and they boil it down so that other Republicans can eat that away and say, "Oh, okay." I'll give you a great example here. I listen to these people talk, right? And, podcasting and stuff. And they go like, look at these fucking liberals, they say. They're so the COVID lockdown, right? Right. This guy, the senator, is like going against the system, and he's saying he's going to have himself a fucking barbecue and he's going to invite friends over. And these fucking idiots are saying that he's trying to kill people, right? He's just trying to live his life. They can't even see that. You think that he's going out there to, how do he put it? To kill people? No, he's just living his life. A human being needs to live his life. What happened was there's two complicated things happening, but they're both on both sides being boiled down. One is saying you're killing people. You're not really killing people.
No.
You're
putting people at risk.
You're putting people at risk because you're spreading it. That's what you're doing. But you have to condense it for fucking people and say he's killing people. And then on the other side, the Republicans, they turned it into a thing where he's just living his life. Yes, you are living your life. You're not actively trying to kill people, but through your actions, you're spreading this disease.
But I don't think anybody wants to recognize that, because
a
lot of people are going to have to admit that that's what they're doing too.
Yeah,
that's why this shit is peaking. Not even peaking; it's still going up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Trump kept saying on November 4th, you're not going to hear about COVID anymore. After the election, you're not going to hear about COVID anymore. It's all made up by these guys. Wow. Why haven't the Democrats come out and played that shit ad nauseum?
Oh, because they already won.
But the thing is, right, what they need now is for Trump to go ahead and start letting the transition start to happen. Right? I'm gonna agree with the Republicans that say that he has a legal recourse and that he doesn't have to concede. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right now, the way it's looking, there should be a transition, at least getting ready for it, not just straight up stonewalling Biden and his team, because that every day is one less day that they have to prepare for January 20th when the reigns change.
I really don't think that they care, both right and left. Trump's doing what any Republican would do, is keep burning this shit away. And the Democrats want this shit to go fucking south so that when Biden becomes president in the inauguration, he'll do the things that the other guy was supposed to do to begin with. And rather than really fight this and combat this, they'll say some things here and there to, poke the coals. But really, both of them are working together for their own parties. Yeah,
Cuomo said the stupid part out loud, right? I mean, he said the stupid part out loud when he said that, it's too bad that this vaccine's going to come out under Trump.
Oh, okay.
Something to that effect, which is pretty dumb, right? But it kind of echoes what you're saying, that the Democrats, and I would kind of agree that, they're kind of like, we would love to start transitioning, but really you're just making shit worse and you're making yourselves look worse. Go ahead, because it really doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
You're letting somebody else look stupid.
Yeah.
Now I think they would rather be in there getting the daily briefings.
I agree.
And talking to the COVID teams and trying to put a plan together, right? But they're the ones being shut out. So right now they could say, you know what? We're trying to get in. We're ready to go in. They're shutting us out. So fuck them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think anyone's actually out for the people. They don't care.
Am I talking too loud? I don't know.
No, you're good. Shit. Okay. That's why I wear the headset, so I get
great
continuity.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to break it, but I feel like I'm yelling.
No, good. No, that's passion, really. Like sometimes I think I'm yelling. Like I noticed my voice when a couple of high octanes are like, fuck these guys, because I was emulating what I've heard. Because a lot of them just start breaking down these complicated things into simplistic things. Like, I'm just trying to live my life. And I'm like, well, I get what you're doing. Yeah, you're living your life, but you're spreading it. And the other person's like, you're just killing people. No, motherfucker, they ain't trying to kill people. They just don't understand what they're doing.
It's the reason why we don't drink and drive, or we're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
It's the reason why there's a speed limit,
Yeah.
because above a certain speed, you're putting other people at risk, not just yourself, but others as well.
Yeah.
And so that's why those things are illegal. They're sanctioned. Certain things are allowed, certain things aren't. And guess what? Right now we're at a point where we're gonna have a vaccine, but we don't have it yet. And if people are getting fucking $40,000, $80,000 hospital bills, I don't think anybody's gonna look at that and say, shit, that barbecue was worth $40,000 to $80,000.
Well, here, give me a second. Let me get something real quick. I got like a little fridge right here called the window. That's the beauty of Michigan, because it's like 30 degrees outside. So I put the windows right there, and it's fucking freezing my beers. It's fucking great. Happy birthday, Anthony. That's for you. Oh man, you know what? Changing subjects, I know, but we don't party like we used to. Right? We used to. We would have had a birthday.
It's COVID.
Oh, that too.
We didn't get together for Adrian. We didn't get together for Weddle.
We're gonna lock down again.
Yes. We didn't get together for me. We didn't get together for well, Chato was in Vegas already, but
yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I talked to Chato. We did a podcast one before this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was get this. Okay, so as I'm talking to him, right, I'm like, oh, this is dragging. In my head, I'm like, this shit's dragging. He's not really good at this. And I have to say, the shit that came out was pretty good. Like, I mean, he has very poignant things to say, and he sees things in a different way. I'm not accustomed to. It's not very deep, but there's deepness in there. Okay,
there's broadness in there. I think he might be more representative of everybody else.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That's what I was. Yeah,
he's had it rough. He's had it rough. Yeah, I don't want to share too much here, right?
But, yeah, no, of course not. That's for him to share on TV or thing. But okay, so he came up with he came up with this idea that I was like blown away by it. I was like, what the fuck? That's pretty good. At first I thought I knew what it was. Then he explained it and I was like, oh shit, that is a good idea. So we were talking about media and how it took over everything, right? It's like, it can't, like, I don't know. It just feels like there's a power there that's ethereal, that shouldn't exist, but there it is. And he said, what we should have is a Black Ops media. And I'm like, Black Ops media? And he goes, oh, I like Call of Duty, and Black Ops. I'm like, Black Ops. I'm like thinking maybe like they come out of the fucking trees, interview you, right? So he explains that. Okay, so all right. So when Trump, the 70-year-old old guy, is 74 now, is on a press conference, right? When he's talking to people, you only see the clips of them, the gotcha moment. Oh, why are you telling me that? Is it because I'm Asian? It's because I'm Asian, like that. It turns out like that's a longer clip than before. So you had like 20 people beating him down with questions, trying to get their tagline. And eventually someone got it. And that's what it is. And then his idea, which was great, is there should be a media that interviews that lady all of a sudden, right? And ask them actual questions where they're just like, were you just doing that just to get him? Because this went on for like 30 minutes before you got to that. And then like just to hash it out, just to show another side of it, And like, I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I mean, like, and he went on about this shit for a bit. And I was just like, that's a pretty good idea. Like a media that attacks media.
I don't think that was his idea.
Shut up. Really? That motherfucker.
Because
I believed it. I'm so gullible.
I don't know if you've picked up from the text. He's Republican.
No, I know that.
And what, but that's coming from deep-seated distrust of the media, right? the media should not be the news. And there is a point there that yes, sometimes the media makes the news, but that's only because they are the news, right?
Yes.
But they shouldn't be making the news. So like Savannah Guthrie saying that Trump is not somebody's crazy uncle to just be tweeting willy-nilly or retweeting whoever he feels like. He's the president of the United States.
Okay.
She made news for saying that to him.
Okay.
Now, she shouldn't be making the news for saying that to him, but it's still a valid point, right?
Although it is a valid point, that's not even what I'm talking about.
But that's not really a question. I get it. I get it. There should be, so like the people trying to do the gotcha should be questioned about their motives, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Their motives are to make, to be able to present something that they could present to other people, because all media is pretty much based on entertainment rules, right?
Yeah.
If you don't get the scoop, you're probably not going to get a desk eventually, or you're not going to get a byline on page A1. You're not going to end up above the fold of the newspaper, right? So they're always trying to get the most sensational thing that's going to move papers or commercial time or airtime or whatever. But that shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing where the media should feel pressured into getting a scoop. Walter Cronkite was not pressured, but then again, he already had a desk, right? It should be a thing where they ask the questions and the people answer those questions. Now, the reason we do have to go gotcha, especially the last 4 fucking years, is because they don't answer questions.
But they don't do that for both sides, though, because if you see an interview with Biden, it's not like they're trying to create a gotcha moment. And that's where you get your duality. That's where you get your conspiracy theorists, because
what gotcha moments are there to be had, though, except for a few? The one on fracking, pinning Biden down on what he meant about, fracking in Pennsylvania was important. That was a gotcha moment. Okay. But what else besides that is there?
Whoa, there's a lot of moments.
You could pick a few, but the problem is one is in government and the other one is not in government. One has a record that you can look at and attack, and things that he says and then his administration says otherwise, right?
Well, you got a guy who did fucking 50 years, right?
Okay, they ask his Secretary of Health, okay, what is the administration's stance on COVID right now? What is the plan? He said, well, we want everybody to wear masks, and he's saying these recommendations, right? But it's not really a plan. It's like we're asking people to do these things. And they actually didn't get called out on that, because the question was, what's the administration's plan? But what they did follow that up with was, okay, you're saying that here. You're the Secretary of Health. You're saying that here. Why isn't Trump saying the same thing in his Twitter feed? Why is he not saying the exact same things that you're saying here out there? Why is he saying the contrary thing?
That's you saying that, but that's not the media.
No, this is in the interview. This was on Meet the Press.
Okay.
No, not Meet the Press. It was NBC though. It was NBC.
Liberal news. Got it.
It was liberal news, but they could have followed him up with, another question of, that's not a plan. Asking people to do things is not a plan. What are you guys doing to pressure, some legislation or funding or whatever, but, and even the message that the guy was saying, his Secretary of Health, okay, even he's contradicting what his own Secretary of Health is contradicting. So what's going on? Oh shit! Then they asked Kayleigh McEnany.
That's a hot chick, right?
Okay, yeah, the blonde girl, his Secretary of
the new chick that replaced the cross-eyed lady, right?
Yeah. Well, she is the mouthpiece for the administration, right?
Of course, that's what she does.
They asked her a question. You know what she said? Well, that's really more for the White House.
That's funny. That's a good one, because she
is
the press
secretary of the White House. And this is not something that was reported or transcribed. It's in video. So, and that's not a gotcha moment. That's just them saying shit that is obviously wrong.
So you're proving Chato's point. They should have a fucking Black Ops media and get that guy.
Because according to that, the person that asked Kayleigh McEnany the question to which she answered, that's more for the White House, So instead of asking Kaylee McEnany, wait, what the fuck? You are the White House. Answer the question. Turn and point the spotlight on the reporter that asked the question.
No, I meant like you would get her then, right? No, what?
You would get Kaylee McEnany. They should be following up Kaylee McEnany.
Yeah,
Somebody else should, and that's what a press conference is. So when one reporter doesn't think of a question, another reporter should be there to think of the question. And this is the problem here, because other reporters are asking the same question in a different way to try to get an answer out of them. They get frustrated. They try saying, well, you're just trying to ask a gotcha question. It's not a gotcha question to ask for the truth. The reason they think it's a gotcha question because they don't have a good answer for it, or they've already been contradicted by their president, or they're just flat out wrong.
that's one way to see it. I get. You know what?
It's not a way
I
to see
never.
it, it's
I
the
never.
way it's been.
I
They
don't
said
think
a
so.
million people showed up at that Trump rally. It ended up being in the low tens of thousands.
Well, I wasn't there.
No, they have cameras and you point, they show the crowd, then they zoom out and you see that it's obviously not a million people.
Well,
Because when
I
you
don't
compare-
know. I don't know what exactly a million people are. You know
then
what I
they
mean?
show another image of a million people,
All
and
right.
it's like, okay, one is a million people because we know it was a million man march or the million woman march for breast cancer, and the
You know,
other one.
I can't speak to this because I'm not up to snuff with this topic in the sense that I know what you're talking about, but I don't have any real facts or anything to dispute you. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah,
Would I lie?
I give you that. No,
Would
I
I
don't.
lie?
Well, you can't be right because you can't just say something that I don't really know much about. I'm not even gonna look it up because I really don't care.
Look it up later. I mean, you're right. It's just you. We shouldn't
I
care.
am seeing a thing, and though that where the media is pointing a direction that's not true. And what I want is accountability in the sense that, okay, all right, for instance, Epstein, right? That fucking guy got murdered and that shit goes away. But then we're hearing about this whole Russian entanglement or Russian this, Russian collusion, this and that. And I'm like, wait. What about this guy who was a fucking island? And there's like the richest fucking people in the world, fucking kids. And this guy kills himself. And then that's it. You heard it for like a day in the cycle. And then it went right back into Russian. And like in one instance, there is nothing there. It's nothing. It will come out to be nothing. And then in another instance, there is something there. And guess what? We will never hear anything about
Well,
it.
no, there was something there in both. There was something there in both. But the problem is one of them has global geopolitical implications and the other one is obviously a fucking monster, right? But
like for Trump, it would be he's an idiot. He said the wrong thing. He shouldn't have said that. He should go to jail for that. Just like you know when you accidentally kill somebody and you didn't mean to. Yeah,
right.
It's the same fucking thing. Like I doubt.
Yes, but one is the president of the United States and the other
No,
one
I
is
agree.
billionaire.
In one instance, I bet like if anything, it's something he shouldn't have said. He said it and he's trying to cover it up. And then you should go to jail for that. I get it. I'm with that. But in one instance, you got that, right? You got a guy who's an idiot and he's the president. And you take him away, go to jail. Got it. Then you got another group of people who are perpetuating a system of control and slavery forever. And then we'll never hear anything about it. In fact, do you know why we put people in jail? It's more of a deterrent than anything. Like if you do said thing, go to jail.
Yeah, okay.
There is no deterrent for this.
The problem with whether or not Jeffrey Epstein actually offed himself is the lack of evidence. I think inside my head that there was I don't think he killed himself. I really don't.
Of course not. But like there's
no proof out there. What are you doing after a while?
There's something there though. You have an island.
Okay, where is it?
Exactly. Where is it? Like I mean,
and if the media can't find it, come on, Kevin. If somebody could scoop that shit, they would have by now.
If someone could have scooped the Russian thing, but we kept hearing about it. Do you understand my difference here? We don't have anything.
Well,
Nothing
because
came out of it, and we kept talking about it.
the problem was every 2 or 3 days there was a new thing coming out
Eh,
about Russia.
we
No,
could have
it's not. You
no,
can't it
no,
away.
no,
It's not a
no,
counter argument.
no, because
Yeah,
every
it's not a
day, if you looked for it, you could find something about
No,
this.
every couple of days there was something. Are you talking about Epstein now? Or are you talking
Yes,
about
Epstein.
something
Yes. Now the other one, yeah, that was just trickled out. And I have a theory behind that. That's more of a, we've got this amount of info, and to create with the data cycle of the news cycle, I mean, you would just kind of keep putting it out there, because Julian Assange implemented the same attack with Hillary. He just kept throwing it out every now and then. You know what I mean? That's a clever move. And it kind of seemed like it, because here you have this wealth of information on this whole Russian thing. And all of a sudden, every
Seems like
fucking
it,
couple of weeks.
But when you look at the way the information was coming out, you could see the narrative. You could see how like this thing led to this other thing, and then it
Yeah,
led to
no, I
somebody else
know.
remembering how this thing was connected.
But it was trickled out
The
to keep with
Clinton
the
one
news
was
cycle.
it was keeping up with the news cycle because it was making news with the news cycle.
No, it makes
That's how
sense.
fast
Like,
it was moving.
say I had a ball of information, I would just keep putting it out, and that, I mean, it makes sense, and
Well,
it works.
that is what happened with WikiLeaks.
That's
that
what
was engineered. There's no argument about that there, because
and
they
that's why
said,
you would have your black ops media. They would go, and this is the whole point of the topic. They would look into this. They would look into that and see, well, where the fuck are they getting this information? Oh, they have all this information, but they're only releasing it here and here and here and here. Well, why are they doing that? Obviously to smear them.
we do have a black ops for the media, and
They don't count. You know that.
the National Intelligence Agency.
No, they don't count. They don't count.
But they do,
No, they
because
don't. No,
yeah,
the
they do.
NSA is out, not in, out. They're out.
We still have a director of national intelligence, the DNI.
No, I hear you, but it's more of a keep shit out, not in. Like, hey, the FBI are the one who do all the, what's this shit about? What's that shit about?
Domestic. Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
Domestic.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Wire fraud
NSA and all
like
those other fucks, they're all about outside shit coming in. They're there. They're like a shield.
Right.
Intel.
And that was outside shit coming in. But the thing is, if the guy's in another country and you can't extradite him, what are you going to do?
No, I'm just.
They can only identify where it came from, and that's why that other dude's.
I'm rehashing old shit. I'm just saying, like, with the Trump, if there was something there,
yeah.
he'd be gone. But for some reason, this Epstein guy has all these tapes, and shit's not going down. In fact, the only people fucking up are the people who have been babied so long. So they're fucking kids left and right, and they've been getting away for it forever. So here you got this one guy, Charles, like whatever, the Prince Charles, and this fucking guy gets an interview, and he can't shut the fuck up. They're asking him questions, and he's like, yeah, basically.
I didn't sweat at the time. Yeah,
I don't know how to sweat. I have a fucking disability or whatever the fuck. He's like, then he's
at
all
the
like,
time. Now he can sweat. He could sweat back then.
Maybe. And then like, that's his excuse for the chick not knowing that he had sweaty hands, is because he couldn't sweat at the time. That's his excuse. Whatever. Scratch that. This is the guy who's fucking raping kids. And it's like, that's a thing. And then it goes away. And I'm like, there's a lot of shit here. And they're not moving. And what's happening is only the fringe is looking at this. And that's the fucking problem. They're the fringe.
Yeah.
And it's a thing that's happening. It's real. And like, it's happening to people. Nobody cares. And that's why like this whole fucking right and left is fake to me.
So the thing is, not Charles. Oh, fuck.
Charles, right?
No, not Charles.
Wait, you mean the kid fucker, right? Kid fucker is Charles.
Yeah, it's not Charles.
No. You're thinking of another Prince Charles. They're all named. There's a lot of Prince Charles. Yeah, they got a lot of Charles in there. I'm just say it's a famous name for them. I don't know why. It's Charles. It's not like
Albert.
Could be.
Whatever, that Prince guy. So he should be charged.
Well, he won't. He won't
because he's connected. I think they probably killed Epstein because he was connected. Why they haven't killed Ghislaine Maxwell? That's because they're probably thinking, shit, it'd be too fast.
Yeah, why isn't there any news about this? Why isn't there anything about it? You know what I mean?
Because there's bigger news right now going on.
I think there's no thing bigger than fucking kids. I'm just saying. Like, the government is like a turn of the wheel. When it's right, it's left. It's right. It's well out.
It's because look, this can be taken out of context in the way wrong way, but the more sensational piece, is going to be the end of the world or democracy, versus somebody that you should be in jail for doing terrible fucking things, right? Again, one of them has worldwide God damn it, implications, and the other one is more local. Terrible. These fucking dudes are fucking monsters, right? But
I think it's a network.
But it really does boil down more to felonies and then people knowing people to cover people's back. But it's not in a way that's going to affect how many people die from COVID, or whether or not we're going to get bombed by Iran, or whether or not we're going to lose an economic war with China.
I think no matter what we do, we're going that direction. Economic war with China, they win. Game over.
Yeah. But the thing is, and I don't, it's because I don't want to say that one is more newsworthy because I wouldn't want anything like that to happen to anybody that I care about or I know, or that anybody you care about or anybody anywhere, right?
But these aren't people we know about. These aren't even people that people care about. Really, it's really just hey.
No, I'm talking about the victims.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the victims. I wouldn't want.
That's what I'm saying. The victims themselves are just orphans, right? They're forgotten and they're hoarded out. That's what he does. To people of industry.
Yeah, but a lot of the statements came from people that were living at home. They were living with people and they wanted to get away from their home and they felt like this was a way out.
Yeah, that's true. But those are the ones you know about, and they
how many do we not know about?
Exactly. They talk about, and they just kind of get, put to side.
I understand, but in the scheme of things,
that is a scheme of things.
You think that it's really connected?
Oh, I don't think it's connected at all. I don't think it's
the election and that.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, people have been dying from flu for a long time, and all of a sudden COVID comes, and then you're starting to hear, "Whoa, all these people die from flu. I didn't even know that." And that's a thing. It's been happening, and then you point to it. All right. Meddling in our elections has always happened, always. And then they became a thing when Trump became president. So it was a thing where, oh yeah, Russia's doing this, Russia's doing that. And I'm like, that's just Russia. You don't even know about like China. You know what I mean? Like this, or us over there. But why would we report on us? Like, oh yeah, we're fucking China's elections. Like that's not a thing. But they've always done this. And then they pointed to it. And here's the shitty thing about it too. Everyone's fucking up, and then it's like known, and then you point it out, and that becomes a thing. And now we're talking about it. We're talking about something that will never change. It will never, unless you destroy the system itself, it'll never change.
Well, the kind of shit that Epstein did will probably never change too. Then by that,
I concur. Yeah. Hey, I'm cynical. Shit's gonna happen the way it's gonna happen.
No, the problem there is that there's people connected, people that can cover each other's backs.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we can trust that the system will maybe find them, but beyond that, if you gotta have evidence, and if there's no evidence, then you can't.
Hey, you know what? Problem is sometimes you just don't have evidence for shit, and you got to just do stuff. That's why why I have a jury is because. You have a jury.
But that's why you got like John Voight out there telling people that they got to fight, to the very end till they can't fight anymore. The results of the election, that the election's being stolen, that it's a battle against the devil, and that we haven't had. He said that the battle is not as big a battle, or that we haven't had as big a battle since the Civil War. So he started to compare. The thing is, it's this kind of shit, this kind of rhetoric that riles people up.
Yeah, John Voight, like the actor.
Yeah,
Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yeah,
he said that.
He said that.
Who gives a fuck? Why is it that these actors have words? Like,
okay, but the thing is, it's one person, then another person, and another person, and if that's the only thing that's in your orbit, that's the only thing that you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's one of those things where, like, if you say it enough times, it becomes your reality.
That's
if you hear it enough times, it's the same fucking thing.
I agree. You know what though? I have to say, John Voight's so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Like, he's
one of the few he's one of the few celebrity Republicans, so he gets airtime.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, honestly, I'm not talking to. I have Republicans here. Trust me.
Why did Donald Trump introduce Lil Pump?
Who the fuck is Lil Pump?
Exactly. But if you watch his rallies, all of a sudden you know who Lil Pump is because he's one of the few celebrity
In reality,
Republicans.
In reality, even Trump doesn't know who Lil Pump is.
He called him Lil Pimp.
Exactly.
Which actually, this guy's great. I love his music. He has excellent music. I introduce you, Lil Pimp. And Lil Pimp got up there on the stage and started talking.
Lil Pimp's a better name. Tell you what. I'm not gonna like Little Pump. That's not.
It's a stupid fucking name.
Little Pimp is a way better name. Let's just say.
But I mean, the thing is, it's yeah, this black ops media thing. I mean, the media is that. You know, they call each other out on their shit, the left and the right.
They don't know. I don't think so.
The problem is there's more shit on one side than the other.
Yeah, you're right. Left.
No.
No, because okay. Here you go. I've done this before. You got like many liberal channels. You got like the one Fox. I mean, I'm just saying, if it was evened out, I give you that.
Wait. So we've talked about this before.
Yes.
It's called the radicalization of the media.
I agree.
It's not that the media went left. It's that they try to stay center, and to offset the right, they had to go. They just end up sounding left because if the right is just spewing lies all the fucking time, and the media is constantly checking them, then the right can just say, "Well, fuck you guys must be left-wing media," right? That's been the cop out. The fact checking, okay, the calling people out on their lies or inconsistencies or whatever, they've been forced to look like a liberal news media. I've seen Chuck Todd go after Democrats. You know, I've seen them hold them accountable, not as often as people on the right, because there's not as much there to hold them to account to by comparison. I'm not saying that the right, that the left is clean and all that shit. No. There's obviously shit that they gotta handle, right? But goddamn, you know, to deny that, okay, we have a president-elect and that the transitions should start happening, and then just flat out say, hey, no, this election was stolen. You can't defend that, you know, and the media, for calling them out on it, shouldn't be viewed as left or right. They should just be viewed as the media. But
yeah, it's ridiculous because it was the same fucking thing 4 years ago.
Again, and we've talked about this before. It started back during Clinton's time.
No, I agree. What I'm saying is, every fucking time there's a president, there's always like the other side saying, "What the fuck is this shit?" And they're all talking shit, you know. And it only got hardcore really between two times, and it was, you know, the Bush and then this one. That's the only times really. Everything else is kind of like, you know, like think
about the milestone things that we are going to remember from the Bush presidency and the Trump presidency, and how many lives they directly affected. Okay, directly affected. And then think about the Democrats and the things that they did and the lives that they directly affected as well.
So, okay, with Bush, it's easier, right? Because you got Iraq, Afghanistan.
That's pretty much it.
You know, you know what I mean, though? Like, you got
Iraq and the financial crisis.
Yeah, well, financial crisis. We could argue that all day, but in reality, I mean,
it happened at the end of his 8 years, dude.
If Bush goes to like a certain country, he could be tried for war crimes. He's not gonna be tried for the fucking failing of the banks or whatever the fuck.
So could Clinton, so could Obama, so could
no. It's universally known that Bush and Cheney, they started a war from Afghanistan to Iraq. I mean, like, look how far these fucking places are. And then he got people whipped into a frenzy thinking, yeah, this is thing. They even lied about weapons of mass destruction. Whatever. Okay. Forget that.
What are you, Kevin? Some kind of right wing, some left wing liberal?
Yeah, exactly. So you got that over there, and I get that. You can clearly see that, and the history books are already saying it for all time, right? So it's kind of weird when people are like, okay with Bush. I'm just saying, you know. So anyways,
so then what did Obama do that's on that level?
No. That's what I'm saying. There's only like 2 times. Like it's this, and then now we got Trump. Now it gets kind of fucking weird, right? Because in one instance you have, yeah, man, he should have did this and this and this, and all these fucking people died. But it's kind of like a thing in which he did what he did, and he did what he could, and he did it, and then it got politicized.
He didn't do what he could. He did what he did.
Listen, when he wanted to close, they literally called him a racist. Then he closed.
Because he only picked one country.
It doesn't matter. No, and not just one country. No, 2 countries.
Wait, he picked one country, and we were one of the last.
This isn't the first time he closed down he locked down from a country.
No.
2 years ago.
Okay, wait. He locked down. He didn't even lock it down, really. He slowed down travel from China.
That's smart.
They said why only China and not Europe as well? This is what, and you've kind of fallen for this trap too now, Kevin, because the right-wing media is only pointing out that everybody called him a racist.
Yeah.
But the problem was because why only China and not also Europe? We need to close the whole fucking thing down. If you're only doing China and they're already seeing it in Europe, you also need to close down Europe. And so I think like 4 days later, he decided to close down Europe as well, travel from Europe, after everybody else on the fucking planet had already done so. So I don't buy the whole that he was a racist.
Here, I'll give you this.
But I
rolled up my fucking sleeves.
Calling him a racist was stupid, but he should have been doing that shit sooner. We're the United fucking States of America. We should be able to predict this shit. Failure of imagination should not be on our list of cons.
Okay, so check it out. He closes down like a Muslim country. I forgot which one, but no, several of them. My bad.
Several of them.
And he became anti-Muslim, and that was the thing, right? He was Islamophobic. But there's a reason. There's credible threats and shit like that, and that's why he did it.
I understood his correlation between the Muslim countries and where terrorism was coming from. There's a correlation there.
That's not
racist, but I wouldn't call it racist. I would have called it God, because it is kind of racist, but it's just, it's like you should just ask where all the fucking terrorists coming from.
No, but like countries? No,
okay, he gets locked down the Muslim countries.
So what happened was if you put a gun to his head right now and asked him what countries did you close down, what Muslim countries you closed down, he wouldn't fucking know. Yeah. He got credible threats from the NSA, like the heads of fucking people said, hey, we need to fucking close down for this shit. And he's like, oh, fucking do it. Okay. And then he got called a racist. Fast forward to now. And he's like, shit, we got to close this shit up because he knows some shit.
That didn't come from him. He didn't say that.
No. This is not us. This is, I'm telling you, this is how it went. He gets information and he goes, okay, yeah, let's do that. It's not like he fucking knows. He doesn't.
We were the last ones to
No, we don't care. We are not in the purview. We don't matter. Literally, if 20 million of us died, it wouldn't be a thing. They don't fucking care. You have these people in power and they have the decision-making power. So they're like, well, this shit's happening in China. What do? We should close it. And then, probably Trump's like, fucking, I'm going to be fucking racist. Let's not close it. And he goes, well, fuck, we got to do something. So he closes it down and then gets called a racist. And then now he's got to play. You got to play the chess game, right? If you go too hard one way, you may be later on down the road, you won't be able to do certain things. So you're just like, what do I fucking do? Right? So he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. If it wasn't a thing in which you're a racist for doing this, for closing, then he probably would have closed the whole thing. Because, okay, so if you're considered a fucking racist and you're trying to go across the aisle to do certain things like, hey, I want to propose this stimulus plan or do this or that, you won't have as much pull as politics. It's politics 101. The only reason why he did what he did is, I guess, for future gains. And so he closes little by little, but then he does. He fucking does.
You're saying he was trying to not seem like a racist?
Well, bummer. It didn't work.
wait. But your whole argument is predicated on him trying to not seem like a racist.
Yeah, because, okay, check it out. When
he kept calling it the Chinese virus and the Kung flu.
It was.
The Kung flu?
Okay, so I'll give you an example of this.
No, Kevin, your whole argument falls apart.
It doesn't.
On his blatant racism.
It doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't. I'll show you.
You said I waited. I was waiting. The grenade pin you stuck in there was that he was trying to not seem like a racist.
Yeah.
He thought that he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't.
Yeah.
And didn't want to seem like a racist.
Yeah.
And that he was somehow trying to develop some nuanced approach to securing our borders. When at the exact same fucking time he was calling it the Chinese virus, the Kung flu, the Wuhan virus.
Yeah. Do you want me to explain it?
You don't hold. It doesn't hold water, dude.
It does. I'll explain it.
it.
So when he's going to war with Korea, North Korea, not going to war really, but when he's talking shit to him, he started saying crazy shit and doing crazy things. You could be said he was being racist to Koreans, but we didn't go that direction. It was more juicy to say, hey, yeah, he's trying to start a war with North Korea. And then all of a sudden, North Korea backs the fuck down on many things. So every time he said something, they back down. So this strategy works. Talking shit worked in this situation. So when you got China, fucking power, and they did a thing that was fucking terrible, ruined the world. Really, it did, right? We can't have Thanksgiving, and it's not our fault. It's not my fault. Not your fault. Not anyone's fault. It is China's fault. It literally came from China. And so what's he think? He's thinking, fuck, I'm just seeing the chess game as it is. He goes, fuck, I can't lose this. I'll talk shit about China. And he does. And it didn't fall. It worked. It should have, though. It should have. So the fucking anger that should reside in every human being because of this fucking virus, it's unstoppable. Like, I am working every day, 12 hours a day with COVID.
I don't think that Trump closing China was a racist thing.
Of course not.
Okay?
It was trying to be a measured thing.
I don't think it was a racist thing.
Of course not.
I don't think it was measured either, because we were the last ones to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
You should have done it sooner, along with closing travel from Europe.
Yeah, that's a rough go.
At the same time. Now, he did open himself up to criticism by doing one without the other.
I agree.
And that's only because everybody was kind of like yelling at him, like, fucking do this now.
Not really.
Like, we're late. We were already late. And at the same time, he was arguing that he didn't want to let a cruise ship come in because he didn't want the numbers to go up. And it was like, I don't want the numbers to go up. I like the numbers where they're at right now. Well, dude, it doesn't matter what the numbers are or how they look. These people are sick. They're not going to be less sick because the numbers stay low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like this thing was coming, and everybody was telling him that it's coming, and he just didn't want to acknowledge it, even though he knew how bad it was.
Well, nobody knew.
Oh God, Kevin.
No, that's retarded. What you just said was retarded.
Tapes, man.
No, you can have a tape of someone saying. You can have a person saying a tape of 100 and a tape of someone saying 200. You know what I mean? Like, the CDC itself said, this is how many people are going to die. They were wrong. The CDC, the WHO said, this is how many people are going to die. They were wrong. Said, no, let me finish. Let me finish. How many
people are going to die if?
No, they said, this is how many people are going to die. And then, no. These numbers changed. Of course they're going to change. You know why? Why would numbers change?
But why the fact of what he said? Why would because research changes as you're getting more information?
Exactly. Because you don't know. You don't fucking know. There is literally
we don't know anything.
There's people in hospitals now.
But we do know within a degree of certainty what can happen. And the problem here was that he knew what all of the scientists were saying. He knew what they were saying and was saying something different. You can't tell me that shit was changing so fast that within a couple days of each other, he was saying one thing to Woodward and something completely different to the press.
No, you're wrong. I don't know how you forgot how this all started out. Like, I was there. I mean, you were there too, but I mean, we were watching it go down, and they were saying a set of things. This is going to happen. We're not going to have to do this. We're not going to have to do that. Don't wear scarves. Don't do this. And it was all misinformation. Everybody was saying something because everybody was not. Nobody knew.
Listening to the administration, dude. We're listening to the administration. And the problem with that was, and there's a fucking tape of Jared Kushner saying that, oh, you know what, we've come to an agreement with the scientists, the White House is in charge now. And it's like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? This wasn't a war between the White House and the scientists. This should have been a war between everybody and this virus, right?
I blame the media for that one. Honestly, it really was
Yes.
us. It was like they restructured the whole argument to away from China.
We wanted to trust the administration because we've always been able to do that. When it came to something this fucking huge, we thought we could trust them. And I mean, I wanted to trust his task force wasn't being forthright with us either, because they knew this other thing while he was saying something else.
That's the new narrative, by the way.
It's not the new. It is the new narrative because things have come to light that we understand. The narrative back then was this is the message that's coming, and why would we doubt it?
It was armchair quarterback. That's what I'm hearing now. Not people are just saying shit that they didn't. It's like they knew the fucking future.
It's Trump saying shit coming out of his mouth, dude.
Of course, Trump is just saying.
Trump even admitting afterwards that he didn't say what the truth was because he didn't want to start a panic. It's Trump himself saying that he was lying because he didn't want to start a panic.
In one instance, Trump is telling the truth. In one instance, he's lying.
This isn't armchair quarterbacking. Trump already acknowledged that he didn't want to say the truth because he didn't want to cause a panic.
So he's telling the truth now versus before.
Well, I mean, he's lying in one, or he's lying in the other, but he's lying.
I agree. It seems to be we're always picking. He's either a mastermind or an idiot, a liar, or telling the truth, and we're just picking points in time in which that's happening. And this is recorded for all history, so only history books will tell the truth. They'll tell the tale. Because that guy just made decisions based on what people told him. And he was like, okay, but then now it's all him. It's yeah. Totally. It's that guy.
Okay. Well, that's why he's not a good president. He didn't put the right people around him that he should listen to. And the people that he did have around him, he was firing them if he didn't like what he was hearing. So that's terrible leadership.
I would disagree with that. I would say I agree he's a terrible leader. Period. Okay. I agree with you. Now, him surrounding himself with people, those people don't matter. You know who matters is the people that matter. They never get changed. They are unchangeable. The head of CIA and things like that. Like, the only way they move over is if, like, they decide they want to move over. And then they say, you know what, you're going to hire this fucking guy. Yeah, all right, I'm going to hire that guy. They'll probably show him a tape of the JFK assassination and then call it a day.
Oh, no, a lot of the people that he ended up seeing them on Fox News.
So anyways.
No, it's...
No. You're not going to change the head of the CDC and things like that. Usually you're going to listen to what they say. So you're going to go with what they say. And then they're going to change their mind. And guess what? You're going to change your mind. And then they're going to say something else. And then you're going to say something else. That is what happened. They said one thing. And he was like, I don't know about that. That's against what. Okay, let's do that. And then they changed their mind about another thing. He's like, oh, okay. And then okay. So in this instance, when you're saying that he knew then, and he's like, yeah, I fucking knew. I have a theory. Now, I could be wrong. No one's ever going to know unless we take his brain and analyze it. I don't think he fucking knew from the beginning. I'm pretty sure he just went.
I don't think he knew 100%, right? A lot of us were in the dark and this and that, blah, 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 and totally new thing, right? But I also think that he was thinking about this whole thing from the point of view of a citizen, where we can kind of be like, well, this is all going to blow over. That's usually because there's people in power that make sure that the whole system keeps going for them to stay in power.
Yeah.
They it's in their own best interest to not let the system fail, because it's the system that they're savvy in. It's their system. They're at the top. They don't want the system to fall apart and then another system to pop up that they're not in charge of.
Yeah.
They want to maintain this system.
Oh yeah.
So but I think Trump was like looking at this from hey, it's eventually going to go away, because it's true. For me, for you, there's not much that we really got to do. Eventually things work their way out. What we don't see is all the people behind the scenes making it fucking happen.
Yeah.
And working in the front office of a school, goddamn, from just being in the classroom and just kind of being in the classroom and doing what the classroom things do, to going and working in the front office to see all the fucking things that need to happen for a standardized test to be administered is insane, right? And in a way, I was like, damn, I was kind of like better off making the same amount of money I was making before and just kind of doing my thing in my classroom, as opposed to doing all this other fucking work to make shit work and make it look like magic. Because that's the other thing. People that are putting shit together, they gotta set it up in a way so that it looks like magic, so that the people aren't having to worry about things.
I agree.
Because when they worry about things, that's when they become upset with the people that they voted for,
Yeah.
even if they had nothing to do with it.
And I think
Now,
that's
this
the
COVID,
primary position of the president, is to just be bitched at. Like, honestly, I really do think that a lot of this shit was working the way it was. Say you switched out Trump with Budweiser
a
and the
president
can,
is
and then that shit would happen.
a president is more like a chairman of the board. They are
Cheerleader of the board.
they they're there to preside over meetings of the states. That's why it's president. It probably wasn't even said president. It probably said president. You know, back in the day. Seriously,
Probably. Hey, you know what?
Look
I'm
at
not
the
fighting
word.
you on that. It
Look at
probably.
the fucking word, right? They probably called it. We need somebody who's going to preside over this. You know, who will be the president.
You know, like, if you look at what he's supposed to do, he's just supposed to enforce shit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's why his biggest hammers are the military and the Justice Department.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, like, it's funny because, like, okay, so you have those cages, right? And they separate the kids from the parents and shit. That's been going on since Clinton. But I really didn't know it was a thing until it was Trump. I didn't know anything
Until they started using them.
Yeah, and then I was just like,
before.
And it made sense. Like, when you see the law in place, it kind of makes sense why that's a thing. So if I'm a guy and I commit something illegal, it doesn't make sense for the kid to be in a prison with me. They should be in some kind of a thing, like a school. So they're like, let's do that. And they separated them. And that made sense. But then it turned into they're in cages. And I was just like, what the fuck? I have podcasts predating this one talking about this. I'm like, these are fucking idiots. Because I was liberal. I am kind of liberal with a lot of things, but I try to keep center. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Then I looked into it. And I was like, well, I mean,
the cages have been there for a long time, but it's like a generator, Kevin. They built the generator just in case. They didn't use it until now.
Yeah.
So,
oh shit, dude.
So
Can you imagine if they did that for like, all right, one day there will be a Republican president and we're going to keep this shit going until fucking this happens.
No. I think it was like, hey, you know what? We just got to have an overflow just in case shit gets sideways someday.
All right. Hey, you know what? Let's not wait. I want to get into some COVID talk real quick. Okay. So like this guy I know tested positive. All right. So there's this lady I don't like. All right. And if she's old and she smokes a lot, and if she were to get COVID, my dark thoughts were like, you know, COVID, I don't like this lady. Dark thought, right? So there's this guy who gets with this girl. Who is she's the daughter of the lady, and COVID, and they don't believe in COVID, and he's doing things, and they hang out, the mom, and then the guy goes to those things with the girl, and he tests positive for COVID, and I was like, hey man, because I know you, I know her, you should quarantine until we get the results if you think you have it. He's like, I mean, I tell that to everybody, but like to him, I'm like, hey, bro, come here. Calm the fuck down, right? Okay, because you got COVID. We don't know, but just quarantine just in case you find out, right? Okay. And then, fast forward now, I'm like, hey, you positive for COVID. You listened, right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, listen.
So are they sick now too?
That's the thing about COVID. Who knows, right? Until you get tested, right? So she and like people I know was like, hey, look, hey, don't hang out with mom, because you can kill her. And they're like, okay, that day, hanging out, breathing on each other. You know, it's weird how this world works because now you have these two fucking ladies that fucking talk about COVID. This is a situation where they're like Republican. COVID's not real. Fucking trying to take down our freedoms and shit like that. And now they probably have COVID. And like, COVID's such a shitty thing, man. Like, the people who get COVID, man, like, there's some people, and it's rare, where it's like, it's nothing. But most people, it's like the worst fucking thing ever. And like, here you got two people fucking just, you know what, fuck it, I don't care if I get COVID. And I'm like, bitch, you don't get it. You don't understand like how bad this shit can get. Do you know what it's like to have a fucking tube in your lung?
Yeah.
And like, we don't even know what the history of this shit's going to be. We don't know, like, okay, for instance, HPV, you can get it. Nothing's happening. Then cervical cancer happens 10 years later. Mm-hmm. Shit, didn't see that coming. Chickenpox. We're like, whatever, chickenpox, another virus. All of a sudden you got shingles in your eyeball and you lost your eyeball. Yeah. COVID, we don't know what 10 years down the road is. Yeah. It'd be like, you get COVID and then all of a sudden you explode or you bleed sweat. You know, like, I mean, that's a thing that's out there.
I just watched the Glorzo episode of Rick and Morty. That's the one where the face huggers.
Oh my God, that's so good. I liked it when what's her name? No, the daughter, Summer. She's like, she's recanting the story. She's like, oh yeah, I love you. Let me just kiss your face. And then he's like, how do you know this? And he goes, oh, I just added a little.
Everybody knew about them too at work, in the office or some shit like that.
Yeah, she just made shit up. I want to suck your face. Oh man, that's such a good episode. I like it when they're like, there's a 9/11 tower, right?
They decide not to.
No, but like it's Pearl Harbor. Yeah,
Pearl Harbor's okay.
Yeah, they fucked that shit up. That was such a good. Oh my God, I love that show.
You're right. I mean, we don't know what the long-term effects of COVID are going to be. All the COVID deniers that are out there. I mean, I guess hospitals are just ordering freezer trucks to store dead bodies for fun, right? Because it's cheap to do.
What's killing people, and I noticed this in my own urgent care. So COVID, we're doing COVID tests, right? I get like, it takes for fucking ever, you know, when you seen fucking, you got COVID, okay, cool, all right, get tested. And we have to make a doctor's appointment. It should be a fast track system where we don't have to do a doctor's appointment, but you need a doctor's appointment to sift out you're just crazy or you want the COVID test, you know, that kind of bullshit. So I get like 10 COVID people ahead of broken foot person. So broken foot person has to wait as I'm sifting through these fucking people. Now, each one of these people are important though, because some of them need to go to the hospital. Some of them need antibiotics for some fucking bacterial pneumonia they got or some shit like that. So they're pretty important, right? Because if I skip them, they could die. Maybe, who knows? But then you got the broken foot person. They waited 6 hours. That's an urgent care. Let's go to hospitals. Hospitals, it's flooded with, it's the same thing by times 10. And they're flooded with these COVID cases. Now, granted, they're not going to die because they're there, right? But then there's the other guy, he has chest pain. He's not going to be seen because there's 50 fucking people ahead of him for COVID. And like COVID's such a spreadable thing where people are just going in. They just need IV fluid. They need this, they need that. And if they don't get these simple little things, they could die.
It blows up, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got, I got a twinge of chest pain or, my head hurts really bad. Homeboy has an aneurysm. Homeboy has a chest fucking, like a pneumothorax. He's dying, you know, but he don't know. He just thinks, oh, it just hurts, you know, and he's behind the line of 50 other fucking people with COVID. So these hospitals are getting fucking flooded with COVID because they're getting in there fast, right? Meanwhile, other people are just dying. And that's a number that's not going to be tracked. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, because it's all random shit, right? A car accident here, a fire here, things like that. And that's really the danger of this COVID is that it's a simplistic virus that's spreadable and people get sick. It's very easy to fix. And so a bunch of people are filling up our hospitals. Meanwhile, other people are just dying.
Well, that's what, that's what the 15 days to slow the spread was supposed to be about back in March, right?
Yeah.
You know, to basically build our infrastructure up.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
I mean, they didn't initiate the Defense Production Act. until what, July?
Yeah. And
You
hospitals
know?
didn't hire more people. They just didn't. Like I'm
Well,
working at urgent care. They didn't hire enough people. They need to hire like 5 more people.
okay. I mean, where does that money come from?
From the hey man, dude, if I'm seeing more patients, that will infer more people. Like
Yeah, but when you're talking about a private healthcare system,
no, I'm telling you, they're making that money. In fact, it seems like a lot of
yeah,
bonuses are going
they're
around.
making a lot of money right now. They're
Yeah,
making a lot of money right now.
but instead of hiring people, they're not, because that's just how
That's
people
the
work.
bottom line.
Yeah, that's how people
It's
work.
it's like customers, man. You got a shit ton of customers.
Yeah,
You know, if you run out of your product, that's not a bad problem to have.
it is, and that's funny too, because like I hear these, I have meetings, right? And you hear these fucking guys talk about how, oh yeah, the numbers are up, and I'm like, that this ain't no Best Buy, motherfucker. Numbers are up
Right.
because people are fucking hurting and shit. You know, this
Yeah,
isn't a good thing. And
right.
he goes, yeah, we've really collected a lot. And I'm like, why the fuck are we talking like this?
Yep.
I mean, like, but whatever, right? And he goes,
That's where legislation needs to come in and say, hey, you know, if you guys beef up your staff
True.
by X amount, we're going to
Yeah.
subsidize X% of your operation.
Or force them to do that. I really do think it's not
Force them to do it.
not a thing in which, hey, yeah, if you guys do this, we'll do that. You gotta force them. You gotta say, hey, look, if you have X amount of patients, you will have this amount of employees or something.
What the fuck do you do, you know, at last stages of a war or something? You know, you take your cadets or your recruits and you put them right out there.
Mhm.
Fucking take the people that are in the schools right now and fucking deputize them. You
I
know,
agree.
get
It's
internships.
not, yeah, it's not
Get
a
them
complicated.
internships.
It
Fucking
is,
on the job training in the
yeah,
middle of this fucking COVID thing. Hey, tell
yeah,
them,
dude.
you're gonna get 15 credits for working in this fucking hospital right now. Go.
Dude, you're right, and you just world peace that shit. Dude, you solved it. But like, I'm not seeing that, dude. It seems like nobody gives a fuck, dude. Because like that's how it is.
It's that's the kind of creative thinking that's not up at the top right now, dude. It's
Even
not
if,
there.
even if you would
No,
have
even
to,
if it would have happened. I think it would have happened.
I
You know,
think if
you got
you
the
have,
right people in there,
if you have the right schools, I think it starts with the schools. Really, I think if the schools generated true essence of like, everyone's not ever. I mean, like a lot of people are just they're just fucking collecting a paycheck. And they somehow convince themselves at one time or other that yeah, we're helping people, but they're not a you. They're not explaining their life stories. They're probably trying to dominate these fucking kids, you know, rather than expanding their horizons, trying to teach them who they are, to find that out of them. I don't see that. I don't see a bunch of ebbers out there. I see a bunch of fucking, I need to control these kids because back when I was a kid, I was beaten or whatever the fuck, you know, to create this fucking crazy psychotic version of a person to just try to control and dominate these children. You know what I mean? To push oppressive ways of teaching, like you need to learn this way, you know, and it goes up towards the admin, right? And it trickles down to you guys. Like you will teach this way, you will do it this way. And I think that if we had a standardization of fucking making better people, right? I mean,
Well,
just making
I think with the time that we've had, we thought of something like that. But I think for too long, we weren't even able to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know, so and
I don't think that's a thing.
it's the reason why I like that Biden had picked Kamala Harris, because she'd called him out. You know,
She did.
she'd called him out.
I don't want to go here again because this makes me mad.
Why?
She called him out because she needed to take the big dog out.
Yeah.
He got her for fucking social justice. That's why he got her. She was the best candidate out of all of them. If Elizabeth Harris, well, stupid.
Kamala Harris,
Fusion.
Never kill me.
I get dizzy. If Elizabeth Warren was true Indian, 100% Pocahontas, yes, you know she would be there before Elizabeth Harris. You know it. She has everything. Elizabeth Warren really has everything. It's just that she's white.
I think she was. There's that. I think.
No.
I don't think she was exciting as Kamala Harris.
I agree. I like her. I like her zest. But I'm just saying, like, if she had a black spin to it and she was black or something, she would have been it. Because, like, Elizabeth Warren, there's a thing in which, okay, if you can talk about women if you're a woman, but if a guy does it, no good. You need that woman.
What about Harris Warren 2024?
No, I think I really want the Republicans to get on this train, right? You give me a black conservative, crazy. You just blew my fucking mind. Those are like that's like a fucking Hitler, Abraham Lincoln put together.
Who could they put?
But I don't know. Well, let me think.
I think they could win the next one. I think the Republicans could win the next one, unless the Democrats
we don't know
do something awesome over the next 4. I mean, if the Democrats can do something awesome in the next 4 years, then they got it in 2024. If it's pretty much more of the same shit, and nothing can really move, and everybody's pretty much where they were at the beginning of 2020. I'm talking pre-COVID. Then I think the Republicans take it.
I think whatever the media is siding with. So, like, when it comes to the
media was siding with Hillary Clinton, dude. And
the only reason why Bill Clinton isn't president for another 4 years was because of the scandal back in the day. If
no, he went 2 terms.
No, he didn't. He only went for 1. He only went 1.
You gonna argue with me on this?
I don't need to. I know he only went 1.
President from 93 to 2001.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
He went 2 terms.
No, he didn't.
And he was impeached during the second term.
No, he didn't. He was impeached in the first term.
He was elected in 92. Reagan 1980 took it from Carter. He handed it over in 88 to Bush 1. Bush 1 only went 1 term to 92. Clinton in 92, all the way to 2000, when he thought he was going to get to hand it over to Gore. He got impeached during his second term, and that was political.
You are right.
And at the time,
you know what? I'm drunk. That's how that worked out.
At the time, I was for impeaching Clinton at the time.
Why?
Because I was 16, 17, and I was like, this dude needs to be a model,
I'm glad you said all that shit. Yeah.
Not cheating on his wife in the Oval Office.
Oh, yeah?
But then, then it took some time, and I was like, well, fuck, that was his personal life, I guess. Shouldn't have come to light. Did it affect his professional life? Did he make a professional decision based on whether or not to get a blowjob? And I never saw any evidence. I don't think Kenneth Starr did connect the two. And he lied, though. He lied to cover his ass about his infidelity, which shouldn't have been a thing anyways. So
the fact that I'm wrong about this little situation here aggravates.
It's a minutia.
No, it's true. It's true. I should have fucking known that. I fucking thought, and like in my head, 4 years. And I was like, he's got it all confused with Bush. But no, you're right. God, that hurts so much.
Yeah, I don't think Bush got reelected because he didn't finish the job in Iraq. But he was smarter for not having gone into Iraq. They knew what we ended up learning in all of the early 2000s, which is fucking, okay, go in and take over a country. Now what?
Yeah.
What's your end game?
Yeah. There's like, I thought they were all the same kind of Muslim. I didn't know there was more than one. Who would have thought?
Not even just more than one Muslim, but just factions within a country.
Oh yeah,
that country was basically always on the brink of civil war, and Saddam was holding it together through genocide. I'm not saying he was a good guy; he was doing evil shit.
Yeah,
to try and maintain some semblance of order, but
yeah. I mean, he took over. He united the factions.
No, he didn't unite them.
Oh, well, I mean,
they
became factions. Yeah. He was top dog. I mean, they were always there, Well,
that's why we were complaining about him gassing his own people. They weren't really his own people. It was a people within his borders that were against him. And so he was killing them. We wouldn't do that now. Or would we? I don't know.
Gassing our own people?
I don't know. What happened to St. Paul's Cathedral? Or who was that church in front of the White House? They were not tear gassing them, but they were trying to.
I thought it was tear gas.
No, it ended up being like just like a smoke bomb or something to try and scare them out.
Hmm. I don't think that
And
we'll ever
that's
get.
me defending the Republicans, by the way.
I theorize that our country, through propaganda and maybe the media, is pushing us towards a direction where we're more socialized. You know what I mean? And maybe I don't even, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the tendency.
Sectionalized, like put into categories, or
no, socialize, like become communist.
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah.
Like socialism,
not communist, social.
No, that's socialite. Hey guys, how you doing? No,
Yeah,
no. I think either two things. I have two possibilities. One, it's China's way of getting us towards this direction, and that's a good thing for China. China's like, hey, I like my communism. If you're communism, this is good too. You know, this is end of this free thinking.
What kind of society would you call the Star Trek society?
Hey, you know what though? Okay, it's funny you should say that, because I was watching Enterprise, and I was thinking about it, right? And I was like, they still have freighters and they make money doing that kind of. And I was deep in some Star Trek, and I was just like, wait, you know what? They are capitalists, because okay, so check it out.
Wait. So
not capitalist. My bad.
Know, but remember, you're talking about Enterprise, which was in the earlier days of
Star Trek. Okay, so when you got Star Trek Next Generation to Deep Space Nine to Voyager to Enterprise, think of that as the holy.
Yeah, I know, but
they're all together. Timeline wise, you're right.
Timeline wise, Enterprise is earlier in the timeline.
It is.
Maybe they haven't quite as reached their peak society as in the original series, and
you could. I hear what you're saying. It's all the continuation of one thing. And you could say it's the beginning part of it. And you could see some semblance of old America to the Enterprise, right? To that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But Starfleet on itself, though, let's say they are communistic. Because, okay, so they all share. It's weird, right? So they don't have anything. They don't have a need for money.
Right.
Because the government gives it to them, but you don't call it money, you call it resources, right? Because I have free food because the replicator makes my food. And then you got the clothes that you need, things like lodging's a thing. And check it out, you can even have lodging where it's like a free room, right? But it's small, it's not big, it's small. So like the whole mentality of thinking has become a thing. It's like inadvertent. Like you would like to think to yourself, well, everybody has everything. Not really. They're told what they have, and they have to share things.
That's communism.
It is communism, isn't it?
It's not socialism, but
but there's no oppressive government.
You would no. I mean, there could be an oppressive democracy. There could be an oppressive. There could be you could take any form of government and make it oppressive, but you really should try.
How would capitalism be oppressive?
Capitalism is not a form of government. It's a tenet of our
democratic republic.
No. Democracy is our government, and democratic values, not democrat like democratic republic, but one of the main values of our democracy is an open market.
Okay.
But that's what we call capitalism. But in communism, you're basically taking all resources, like you said, and the government is deciding who gets what.
Yeah,
Socialism is putting into place movements of resources to create social programs. So I guess you could say communism is like one step up above socialism, but they're not the same thing.
So, but like this whole time I've been watching Star Trek and I'm like, yeah, this is what we should do. But in reality, I have inadvertently been wanting, I have been wanting communism, because they are all like working and like, think about it. Think about the Chinese, they got their they give a shit about their country,
but
they care about their values.
But in the Star Trek system,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It's not oppressive because the people that are in charge of it, okay, they have shown that they can be trusted to partition the resources fairly and justly to the point where nobody really complains about it,
But they're not
right?
even, it's not even a partition thing. Think about it. Okay, so I want food, right? Replicator. I want a house.
Where does the energy for that come from? It's
It
not magic. It needs to
it
come from
isn't. It
energy.
isn't, but there's no
It's
ration
taking
for it.
No, it's taking, you're right, but that energy is coming from somewhere. Somebody somewhere is building the replicator, or somebody somewhere is managing the energy system to power the replicator with raw energy to convert that into
I agree.
matter
I
and
agree.
the specific atoms and
But they're
molecules
all
to
just
make that.
working. They're all just working together, though. That, you know what I mean? Like it's not like
Yes, yes,
Bob, you will work, and but China's
but
not
there
like that
isn't,
either.
but there doesn't seem to be a person at the top that's trying to collect the main resources for themselves. They're being trusted to run the society in a way that is fair to everybody and meets everybody's needs.
Oh, I love this
Okay?
fucking conversation because we can keep going with this. So think about the Starship Enterprise. Let's just go with the Enterprise because it gets kind of weird with the whole country, like the worlds and such.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's just say that country is the Enterprise, right?
Okay.
And the captain is your leader. He is a dictator because it's
Pretty
not a
much.
it isn't a democracy.
You're right.
He
You're
says
right.
whatever. So he
Yeah.
leads the country to where it needs to go, to the next
Right.
mission and things like that. But he keeps everyone happy with the resources and shit. So if they need dilithium, they go to places to get that, right?
And through leadership, he doesn't make decisions for his own benefit. He makes the decisions for considering the safety of the crew,
Yeah.
and with respect to their mission, which they've all agreed on. That's why they're on that ship.
Yeah. Fuck, you gonna make me Chinese. I'll tell you what. I'm like, I'm like, shit, man, dude, preach, dude. Because like, think about it. It makes other than the nefarious fucking things though, because like the Enterprise doesn't do that. It doesn't do counterintelligence. It doesn't ruin. It has a prime directive. It doesn't get involved with other people's shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, it just keeps doing its thing. And yeah, it just does. And then like, yeah, they make bad decisions. Let's go here. Ah, shit, the Borg. Fuck, we're dead. Ah, shit, we're dead. Fluidic space. Whatever the fuck. Whatever. But I mean, fuck. It is communism, though,
Yeah.
right?
It's communism when it's working. Unfortunately, you can't trust everybody. Power corrupts people, and some
But
people.
in the world of Star Trek, that happens, though.
And not only that, energy is not unlimited. Only so much sunlight falls on the surface of the planet. You can only grow as much and as fast as photosynthesis will allow. You can only support so many people on the planet. The more people
See,
there are, we
yeah,
want to keep. We want to maintain our standard of life, right? But the population of the planet keeps going up. So that means that. So let's say the planet is 100 people. 10 of us are the US. For the 10 of us to keep our stuff, that means the other 90 people need to keep sharing the same amount of stuff. But now they're not 90 anymore. They're 100 and 120 and 130 and 140, 200. But they still got to keep sharing the same amount of stuff as those original 90 people because we want to keep our shit.
No, you know what though? The problem with that kind of thinking, and this is why Star Trek excels, is that is universe. It's infinite.
Yes, so we don't have the technology yet to
Exactly.
produce the amount of energy that we need.
What I'm saying is like, so it's like as if like you got a country, right, of 100 people, and around it are resources aplenty, but they're too stupid because they're barbarians, right? And they just keep growing in that one country rather than evolving to the point of turning those resources. Like if you were to mine one asteroid, you have all the resources for like 10 Earths. You know what I mean? For things like semiconductors, rare earths, because the rare earths are there, the rare asteroid earths, like, I mean, like we have all the power and all the ability, but we just need to go towards that direction. And that's the cool thing about, and that's why it works. That's what communism works in the world of Starfleet.
And that's what the Green New Deal is about. It's about, okay, what's the next phase of energy? What's the next step up from coal and dead animals, and biomass?
It's rehashing old shit.
What do you mean?
Solar panels, wind, all that.
Okay, yeah.
That's old stuff.
We got to handle that. Then, okay, what's after that? Okay. Now let's start looking at asteroids. We just fucking found one that's probably made of all nickel ore.
No, I know. No. What I'm saying is the Green New Deal should not be a thing. It should be SpaceX and everything.
It should just be automatic.
Yes.
So why is the Green New Deal? Why is it a thing? Why is it politicized when it should just be like, hey guys, before we used to chop up wood, and burn that shit in an oven to make steam. Then we found out about coal and everybody went to coal and petroleum. Okay, what's the next thing? We got to keep moving up. We got to keep evolving.
And that's why we need a leader. And Biden's kind of moving towards the Green New Deal. He even said it himself. But I wish like an Andrew Yang or somebody else who's more progressive that would have said something to that effect. Because they're the ones who are like, this is a viable thing. Let's do this. Not Green New Deal.
The problem is you have one side that's calling it radical and that's demonizing the other side for
agreed.
Coming up with these ideas saying, hey, they're going to take your cows. They're going to take your airplanes. They're going to take your cars.
We got Biden as a president.
Wind farms cause fumes to come out of the ground. The fuck.
Yeah, pollution from wind farms.
And so, yeah, you could have Andrew Yang out there, and he's got great ideas, but they're just gonna call him some kind of radical leftist socialist.
Well, I would hope that when Biden becomes president, and he will, that this whole Green New Deal, which I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think it's gonna pass. I mean, because he's our leader.
We need a communicator. We need somebody that can talk to Biden is probably the closest thing we have to that right now.
Of course,
that can talk to both sides.
Yeah. Well,
get people to maybe trickle down the idea that, hey, this isn't to hurt anybody. This is to help everybody.
I think that we're gonna have turmoil for the next 4 years.
That's the shit.
Because the next president,
even right now, the reason that most Republicans aren't kind of pushing for at least the transition to start is because they need the base to stay riled up so they can come out and vote in Georgia in January. Because Georgia's holding 2 Senate seats, and if they could keep those 2 Senate seats, they keep control of the Senate.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Right now, it's like, okay, do we go with democracy as normal? Just like it was. Fuck it. Obama had Trump in the White House 2 days after the election. 2 days after the election. Okay, not after the Electoral College submitted it. 2 days after voting day. Okay, he had Trump in the White House so that they could start the transition. Okay, electors hadn't been finalized. None of that shit had happened, right? And that's usually the way it happens. But right now, the Republicans are like, okay, should we try to go back to business as normal, or should we try to do what we can to get these 2 Senate seats and maintain power in the Senate?
Yeah, I agree. I think they whipped people into a frenzy, and it's weird because when Biden becomes president, and he will, I mean,
Trump is still going to be out there.
Trump's going to be out, whatever on him. You're going to have fuck him.
Say whatever on him. He has a big influence.
So be it. Let him be. It's what those people, it's with the 50% of people, or not 50, the group of people who voted for him, they're going to create this thing in which this shit isn't right. So every time Biden comes out with something, they're going to be like, oh, well, he's not even supposed to be the legitimate president. Kind of like, how Obama wasn't really born in America, that kind of bullshit. They're going to go that direction with this. He's not even the legitimate president.
Yeah, I didn't like that fuck Donald Trump thing that came out. I was just like, okay, that's funny, but that doesn't help anything. If anything, it just angers the other side even more.
I really do think he'll just be a personality, have his own show. Maybe, I don't know. He's done. He's fucking done. He really is. He was
a personality before.
And became nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Not nothing, but it wasn't like
he president of the United States.
No, he is now. But I'm saying as in, like, all personalities, he'll just be out there. And there'll be other people. He'll be on shows trying to regain. And slowly he will fade away into obscurity. That's just the way it's going to be. No fingers crossed. That's just the way it is. You can only burn so brightly for so long. Good job, Donald. I have to say, good job. You did what you did. Bucket list, done. You can die a happy man. Honestly. I mean, your ego is huge. And then that's the end of it. Time will move forward. What I'm worried about is the whole every time we do something on the liberal side, it's gonna be fucking no, he's not our
You know
president.
what? I think we should get rid of the electoral college now.
Something I said and argued against you.
No, I honestly I don't think they should.
Why do you think?
Fucking my side over? But again, I still think it serves its purpose
to for the smaller states, right?
To spread some of that attention around. Now, states like Maine and is it Nebraska that split their votes, they kind of fucked themselves over because nobody ever goes there anymore, right?
Yeah.
They're not on anybody's radar.
Mm-hmm.
They're just gonna get split, and it's not an all or nothing state.
But the world's so much of a different place now than it was hundreds of years ago. You don't need a horse. You don't need to learn something from a newspaper. You have the internet, and it has all the wealth. So anything I know, someone else can know as much. And if they don't know, gives a fuck. That's your bad. You're not hip with space. That's your bad. You're not hip with the water, the ocean. You don't know about shit about the ocean. Fucking, you're bad. You don't know about this. You don't know about that. That's why we're getting rid of oil. That's why we're getting rid of fracking. That's why we're getting rid of this shit. Because the shit's out there. And it's your fault for not knowing it. That's why electoral college is stupid. That shit's good back in the day when you didn't have all of the human knowledge on a fucking thing. And it's stupid. Not you ever, but I'm just saying it seems to be only because it started working to like it would have been Hillary.
Okay.
I've heard this shit because of Hillary Clinton.
So I like the electoral college, but I'm definitely not married to it.
Okay.
So like if it got abolished, Democrats have won the last 7 out of 8 popular votes. Trump was right. If more people vote, you won't have a Republican get elected president again. He said that shit.
Yeah, or in general. I hope. See, you know what's weird to me though is the primaries. I don't feel like that's real. Like in the sense, like I really don't feel like. I feel like that's a. I could be wrong. The primary
system's fucked, man. No,
yeah,
you're right.
It feels like it because there's no third party. There's no Green Party. There's no that's not a thing. That's like.
The other problem is too early, people drop out based on red states.
Exactly.
And so really the Republican states are the ones picking the nominees for the Democrats.
And if you take a step back and you look at it, you're like, oh, he did or he or she did this to get this far to get the votes to this person and back the fuck out because they got a position. Why does
Ohio and New Hampshire get to pick who's going to represent each fucking party?
Exactly.
What sense does that make when you have California and Texas, okay, sitting there with the most electoral votes? I thought it was stupid too when they said that, Texas is the first state in the union to hit 1 million votes. I go, yeah, I think they're also the second most populous state.
Yeah.
I go, that kind of makes sense. Oh, California is about to hit 1 million. But like, yeah, we also have the most electoral votes in the fucking country. It kind of makes sense. If you go per capita, though, the states that are really fucking up are the red states. But whatever on that. What I was really interested in seeing was that they could reliably predict that the cities, that the most densely populated areas were coming in Democratic. That was one of the things that I was like, okay, so which ones should we listen to?
And why?
Why is that happening?
Yeah.
Why is that happening? What is happening outside of the cities that we don't understand or that we don't know? What needs are not being met out there that they would want to nuke Washington so badly? Because that's really what the Trump vote was. It was a screw you to the establishment. It was drink liberal tears. It was, own the libs. It was that kind of thing. Why do they feel that that's the thing to vote for?
Because it should be a thing in which, like, let's get rid of fracking, or let's get water to Flint, or let's stop global warming.
They want to get rid of our coal mines. What are they going to give us instead? Because there's 3,000 people that work in that fucking coal mine and they're going to be out of a job. So what's the alternative? they should be asking that question.
Yeah.
You know, or the Democrats should be giving them an answer, a real answer, not
learn to
you
code.
consider shifting over. No, they just say, I will sign a bill that takes this group of people to your fucking town and we'll train them and we'll provide the infrastructure and build a fucking solar panel factory in your town. And we're basically going to take your coal miners, retrain them, put them in that fucking solar panel factory so that they have jobs for as long as they want.
The problem is, though, a lot of those fucking people were old. So to tell them to relearn something, like, okay, so like you're fucking you're 50.
You're right. But if you guarantee their income, if you tell them you're not gonna lose any money on this, you're gonna get retrained and you're gonna do this next thing because your business is only viable for about another 5 years.
You can't tell someone who has been doing something all their fucking lives, and not like
okay, or you tell them, and this is how a dialogue happens, right? You tell them, okay, you're gonna get to keep running your mine, but we're not adding any more jobs to that mine. Any new jobs that come in are going to be at this solar panel factory.
And I think that's why you should be president, because there you go. You kept going until you fucking figured it out. And now you're right. You are fucking right. It is a conversation that didn't happen. They just willy-nilly said, hey, yeah, you guys are going to learn to code, or we're going to retrain. And meanwhile, you got these 6-year-olds who've been doing this shit.
Because you make valid points. You're saying those are valid points. You know, there's people that have been working there their whole lives. You're telling them, hey, this business is only viable for another 5 years. Well, fuck, I'm retiring in 3. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, if you take to a path of, hey, look, this is the way it's going to be. We'll subsidize your job just like we did with sugar and corn. You can get to a certain point, and then that's it. That it's going to get fizzled out. It just will be. And I mean, like, reality wise, the needs of the many are outweigh the needs of our power cannot be sustained by oil or gas or even nuclear. Like, it's going to get to a point where we're going to need some heavy juice, and all the solar and all this other shit is not going to work. We're going to have to come up with new fucking things, and it's out there. The fucking world is out there, or the universe is out there. I mean, like, we can do it. It's just that we're not moving towards that direction, and you need that. You know what? I don't want to be communist, but I mean, with my whole Starfleet fucking mentality, and I'm thinking, like, you need a good 20 years to move towards a direction that way. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a while to move that direction, but you need a consistent direction. And I'll have to say, if the Democrats or a new party, it'd be nice if a new party moved towards that direction. Like, no matter how, every 4 years, doesn't matter. They're going to go towards a technologist, you know, instead of like Republican technologian, you know.
Honestly, I feel like it should be like, I'll show you right now real quick. It's pretty simple. So I feel like it should be like this. So you have the left and the right.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of the enough of the right and the middle part of the left overlap enough
to be a new party.
To create a party that I mean, the extreme right, they're not going to have a say in shit anymore. I think the Democrats are going to get split between the far left and the middle left. I think that's where the real voting power is going to be.
Ooh, I like it.
Huh?
I like it.
Yeah, I think the extreme right, I think conservatism on that extreme level, they don't provide answers to a changing world, because it's even in their fucking name, conservatism, to conserve the way that we've been doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think enough of an argument has been made and shown and proved, especially through COVID, that we need to be ready to evolve. Now, I think the ideas on that evolution are going to change, are going to be different. So I think the left is going to get split. You're seeing it now. You're seeing it now. The right isn't really splitting as hard. There's only Trump or not Trump. You know.
Yeah.
That's the real only split. You know what? That might be the actual split. The Trump Republicans might be the ones on the fringe that get left out.
Yeah, that the whole alt-right and the whole far right of the Republicans, yeah, that needs to die. More so than the far left. The far left is pretty shitty, but not as bad as that far right, you know.
They're pushing for change. You know what? They're pushing for change the same way that I was pushing for it, like 5 minutes ago. And I said, okay, we're going to take all you guys and retrain you guys.
Yeah.
But then we ended up coming up with that other thing, by kind of going back and forth. We said, okay, well, maybe we phase it out so that they don't have to get retrained.
Yeah.
But the next generation.
Exactly. No new jobs, just move towards something else. So we keep, and that's like, it's not conservatism. It's just paying tribute to what you have.
It's recognizing the needs of those, that are kind of already in the situation where, I've been doing this you're right. I've been doing this since I was going into these caves with my dad, and he went in with his granddaddy and, and I don't think they were.
Dude, no, but like if you're 60 and you've been doing this shit all your life, it's hard. It's not only that, it's hard. It's noble from your point of view because you've worked hard. Yeah. And you really got suckered into a thing that you shouldn't have been suckered into. So I mean, hey, that's the truth, man. You shouldn't have been in this. It's the way it is. Somebody had to do it, but at the same time, did it have to be you? And maybe if you had not done it, I mean, it's just a rough go. So as a person, you're like,
there's a lot of pride in like American steel. The guys that made that steel. They're really, really proud of that. That to them, their legacy is in the buildings, around the world, or especially in the U.S. But yeah, you're right. We do need to recognize.
And that's all you need to do is really talk to them and not like ego trip them, but just say like, hey, look, we value your shit. You keep doing your shit. We keep paying you, but no new jobs. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, we're moving to the future because there's only so many dead animals in the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's inefficient in comparison to what's out there.
That too.
I mean, like you could say that the fossil fuels will go away eventually, and that could be argued. But when you can say, hey, dude, we're not still using horses.
It's not argued. The amount of time left can be argued, but it will run out.
I agree with you. The amount of time can be argued, but you can't argue this. Horses, do we still use them in comparison to cars?
For fun.
Yeah. Horse as a novelty. Yeah. But like, if I'm going to buy something, am I buying a car or a horse? You know what I mean? Like a car is just better. You don't see Amazon getting fucking horseless horses.
Take the family out, on a trip to Pittsburgh or something on a fucking horse.
So, I mean, if we keep progressing towards like better technologies, I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. And so that's where you come at them at like, look, bitch. I mean, like, what do you need to do? You're going to keep working with the horses? You're going to go with cars. And I mean, that's what this is.
Hey, man. Entertainment?
You want to talk about Mandalorian?
You fucking read my mind, dude.
Because I've been wanting to talk about Mandalorian, but we just got back into COVID. Because you know what? Hey, can I pause real quick? I gotta piss. I want to talk about Mandalorian.
Me too. Let me recharge it real quick.
How do I pause? How do I pause?
The recording and then save it. That way.
No, I just paused. Yeah, it is bureaucracy, of course. Like just like any kind of thing where you're trying to like. I don't know, to get promoted, and that existed for all time, but like it's the same fucking thing for them. So like I never really thought about that, man. They get their holodeck. I mean, if we all work to that common goal, I guess like the way people work,
you need to trust your leaders.
No, that's the thing though. In Star Trek, there was bad leaders. You still had a thing where you have infinite food, clothes, a place, a job, but then your captain's killing other people. You know what I mean? And you're part of that, so you're still communism and that's the cool thing about the Star Trek. You got certain ships and they're on their own little governments, even though they're part of the same thing. They all do their own little thing. They're like, I'm going to follow our government. I'm going to kill Cardassians, that kind of thing. So I never really thought about that much. I have a better understanding of Star Trek through this conversation than I did before, which is weird because I thought I understood everything in Star Trek. I really did. I mean, I know so much about Star Trek. It's fucking crazy. So let's talk about Mandalorian.
Well, spoilers, right?
Spoilers, you sons of bitches. We watched.
How is this fucking good, man?
What?
How is this show this fucking good?
Oh my god, dude. And like the actors and actresses they utilize, they're fucking top notch.
they nailed it, you know.
Well, did you know that she's the voice of the character in Clone Wars?
And she looks exactly like the character she played in Clone Wars.
And she's the voice.
And she's the voice. Yeah, I know. But it was just like I wonder. I'm sure it's gonna come on like the making of or whatever. I'm wondering if when they hired her to do the voice, if they rendered her, like if they try to make her look like her.
Maybe. Fucking maybe. Okay, so Obi-Wan has a dimple on his head, like a thing. And in the Clone Wars, they did it. They put the dimple in his head in the show. So they rendered the character per Ewan McGregor, not the other guy, Obi-Wan, but Ewan McGregor has a thing. They rendered him. So it could be said that they made the character look like the character that they were doing. I'm just saying.
I mean, Ewan McGregor.
She fucking looks like it though. Yeah, like right. You know what's cool?
I mean, the face. It's just the face and her eyes. It's like they ripped her out of the show and put her there.
I know. And like, okay, here's the thing. So they made her more than she was in the show, but she was in the show more than she was in this episode.
Yes.
Because in the show, she was like, yeah, my sister's cool. Obi-Wan, I know you like my sister, but we should fight and kill all these people. And then Obi-Wan, his sister is like, peace. She dies. So spoiler. And then she's like, fuck peace. Let's fight. And then you got Star Wars Rebels. She comes back out, talks about the Darksaber and all that bullshit, and wants to become like the fucking one. And I thought that was fucking tight that they used her because there's so much about her in the show. But in the show, in that one episode, they blew it up. Like, you don't even need the show. Huh?
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, you can go any way you want with it, right? You can go bad, you can go good. I mean, that's the kind of character she is.
I'm just wondering if she ages differently, though.
Why?
Well, because this is like 30 years after Rebels.
Right? Is it? Okay, so no. This isn't 30 years after Rebels. Because, okay, Rebels takes 10 years before Luke Skywalker.
Before Luke Skywalker is born?
No, before the... So Luke Skywalker's a kid. So he's 14. So, okay, so Luke Skywalker's 14 at the advent of...
Maybe only 20 years then.
No, it's 10 because Luke is 20 in the movies.
At the end of Jedi?
No, not at the end of Jedi. It's 4 years, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. So 14, and then he's how old in A New Hope?
In New Hope, wait, are we talking Luke? Luke is, I would say, 24. You know how I know? You know how I could do this? Leia is 14 in the show of Rebels, which is 10 years before Luke, before Star Wars New Hope. So
24, and then 4 years passes.
28.
Trilogy, so
yeah.
So 15 years maybe?
So yeah, okay, so she shows up in Rebels, but she's
plus five, because this is 5 years after the fall of the Empire. So it's the 10 years pre A New Hope.
Okay.
The 4 years that between A New Hope and the end of Jedi.
Okay.
So that's 14.
So this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi?
After
Return of the Jedi. I'll take your word for it. I thought it was like a year, but 5?
I don't remember where I got that from, but I know.
If you say it's 5, I believe you, because that's such a weird number.
I'm pretty confident that it's been 5.
So okay. So we're saying that she seems like top shit. She's so young looking too, but she's really like 38 or something like that. She's our age. She's so hot.
Right.
She's in Battlestar Galactica. I love this chick, dude. She's in Battlestar Galactica, and she was 24 then when that show came out. And
I think,
huh?
She's in some Netflix space movie too.
Yeah, don't watch that. It's terrible. It's as if an algorithm made a show, because there's like an alien, there's an AI, and then there's an AI and an alien. They had a kid, and there's interdimensional shit and time travel. And I was like, what the fuck happened here?
Wow, she was good in this one. I mean, she felt like a force.
I hear her talk in podcasts about Battlestar Galactica, and if you ever watch that show, it's so intense because that's like the makers of Star Trek, one of the greatest writers, made that show, and Ronald D. Moore, and he really is good at Star Trek. He gets it. So he wanted to make a gritty Star Trek, so he made Battlestar Galactica, the newer one. And he got her, and she's young and she does shit, and it just doesn't make sense because the way she acts in that show is levels above where she should be. So at first I thought it was just the character itself, and maybe she just worked well with the character, but then you watch her in other fucking shit and she's fucking on it, you know what I mean? And so when you hear her talk about it, she's like one of them genius people that don't act like it. She sounds so stupid. She's like, me, 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 me. But in reality, she's like saying shit that's very smart, and I was like, what the fuck I don't get you, you're like a fucking unicorn, you don't make sense. So when she's in this fucking show, I'm like, okay, cool. You got Kara Thrice. We'll see what you can do. Holy fuck. She did everything right. She did everything good. She made herself come back, just like the that one chick in the Mandalorian, the first one, the tough chick, the UFC fighter. What's her name? Yeah. She's so good that you want to see more of her. So like that's how good she is. You're going to see more of her. That fan outcry will want her.
My thing. Okay, so I didn't watch Babylon 5.
Not Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica.
That's bad.
I like Babylon 5 though, but okay, go ahead.
I didn't watch Battlestar. I haven't really seen her in anything, but when she showed up and she took her helmet off, and her and Mando are talking back and forth, it felt like she had gravity to her. Graviton.
Wow, dude. Good use of words.
The weight was there.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that Mando was talking to somebody that he needed to deal with. That it was going to be a force. When he was talking to that sheriff guy on that other planet, I didn't get the same feeling. It felt like, oh, Mando could totally fuck this guy up. And it was true.
Yeah.
Right?
It was more about that guy having to earn his merit to Mando.
Right.
And it was the reverse with this.
Yeah, and then she even fucking games him too. She's like, this is the way. When he's like, hey, this deal. Like, this is the way. I like when she took the helmet off. Oh, fuck, I wanted to mean it. God damn it. I'm sure it's already out there.
No, okay.
Not the way. He's like, this is not the way.
All right, now, okay. Now it got to a point where I was like, where I didn't know who was telling the truth. It's funny because I know so much about Clone Wars, and I'm real deep in Star Wars, so I'm just like, I mean, I didn't read all the books, so maybe there's some shit going on, but I didn't know if she was lying or telling the truth. Because okay, from the character perspective, she doesn't seem like a liar, but it seemed like maybe times have changed. I don't know, because genocide may change you.
You know what? When people online were saying that, wait, this is dumb. Mandalorians have always, they've always shown them without their helmets and stuff. I didn't watch all of Clone Wars. I didn't watch all of Rebels, but I was like, you know what? Even in Rebels, I got the gist that there's different clans of Mandalorians, and this is probably one of those more hardcore ones.
Yeah, I thought that too.
A stricter code, and that's right away how she dismissed it. She goes, "Oh, he's of the Watch," and I think was it Death Watch?
Yeah. Okay. But okay. Here's the thing, though. She wasn't part of Death Watch, but she was kind of like with them because they all thought about hardcore Mandalore for life, right. And I mean, when maybe it's different from Death Watch. Maybe the Watch is something different from Death Watch, right? Because Death Watch took off their masks. They just did,
right?
And the Darksaber is cool too because she was looking for it because whoever owns the Darksaber will rule Mandalore. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like so
Excalibur.
My theory is the bad guy is a Mandalorian.
Ooh, that's how he knew his name, and that's why he was like the Spec Ops anti-Mandalorian guy.
Maybe he's the one who killed all the other Mandalorians. The
Yeah,
Mandalorians have been known to do that, to kill other fucking people. I think they kill like the Duchess, the one who Obi-Wan was in love with to become. I don't fucking know. I could be wrong. Nerds will eat me up. So I better not say shit too much. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the Death Watch killed her and became the
no,
king.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it could be. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But that's the
no,
that's the lore.
no, that's a good theory. That's a really good theory.
That's the Manda lore. No.
Damn, but dude, when they're on that boat, that fishing boat,
Yeah.
and they knock the child into the water.
Man. Yeah, shit got real, right?
But I did not see it coming, right?
No, I didn't.
I watched Knives Out.
Okay.
I saw every fucking thing coming, Kev.
Really? I love Knives Out.
I enjoyed it. But you know what here's the problem. Knowing that Rian Johnson directed it, I was like, he's probably
It bothered you.
No, it was like, I bet you he thinks he's gonna be so cool making Captain America the guy that's actually the bad guy.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And because he's gonna want to subvert your expectations. And then I pretty much guessed it, like when he said, yeah, he told me about you and his will. Right? I was like, oh, so it was him. And then right at the very beginning, I was like, oh, they switched the fucking spoiler alerts for Knives Out. I was like, right at the beginning, I was like, somebody switched out the fucking medicines on that lady.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I was guessing everything. Even when it was happening, I go, she probably gave him the wrong ones, like the wrong ones accidentally, and accidentally gave him the right ones.
I don't want to sound smart, but I mean, I remember watching it and be like, oh, that's cool. But like in like the back of my mind, I thought about it. I was like, like as it was happening though, not before. Like I didn't have it from like when they told you who murdered the dude in the beginning. I thought that was clever. I thought that was, and I have to say, I mean, I thought that was cool. They told you the whodunit first, and they went deeper into the whodunit. And I thought that's where I was coming from. I was like, oh, she did it, and they told you right away, and was like, oh fuck. And then you kind of like break the onion apart about the plans within plans.
Yeah, but I knew that it wasn't her right away. I was just like, okay, it was her, but it wasn't.
It was her. Yeah, no, but I didn't know that. And then it was her. It was actually her. And then
no, I knew it right away. I go, somebody switched the labels on the vials or whatever. Yeah. Right away, I was like, no, her acting was really good though.
Yeah, she's a good actress. She's a really good actress though.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah.
There was a couple twists and turns that I like at the end of the car chase where the guy goes, that was the stupidest car chase of all time. Because they're driving some piece of shit.
Yeah. It wasn't like Born Identity piece of shit with a Fiat. It was just she just like tried
and I like Daniel Craig even with the
accent.
Even with the accent, I was like, you've seen it too much in Bond, but it was camp,
Yeah.
It was one of those things where that's not how he talks.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting to see him.
It wasn't fun at all. I don't like Daniel Craig at all, and he's a great actor.
No, I had fun watching him.
Not like that. Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
I had fun watching him.
I mean, Rian Johnson's got some great ideas. It's just like it's such a bad taste in my mouth.
I will not watch that movie again.
Oh yeah, dude.
I watched it once. I'm good.
How about the sequel?
Usually a movie like that, you're like, oh, I want to see it again to catch all the little details. I'm like, I guess what was there.
It's like
there's a whole lot more there for me.
Like Clue is a great movie, and I'll watch again and again. And it's a whodunit. And it's pretty good. There's a lot of whodunit movies that are pretty good. Like there's one with Adam Sandler recently. It's I forgot what it's called. It's Adam Sandler. It's Jennifer Aniston. It's something murder. I forgot.
You know what I watched? I watched Inception.
That's okay.
And at the beginning of the movie, they're on the train, and they just got caught,
Yeah. recently watched it too, by the way.
Yeah, they just got caught. You know, the mission fell apart. They're like, "Fuck it, we got to get the fuck out of here."
Yes.
And he's like, "I'm gonna get off in Kyoto," and they're like, "Hey, they're not gonna check every cabin." He goes, "I don't like trains." Do you remember why he doesn't like trains?
Because of Mal will put a train in some
Because
random
Maul
train.
puts fucking train in his dreams.
And that's how he dies. He dies because a
train,
train kills him in that
a
dream.
train is how he tricked his wife into killing herself in a dream. So it just reminds him of the time that he incepted his wife and fucking really caused her death indirectly, right?
Pretty fucking clever. I never thought of that.
Dude, it was like it's like it was part of his character, right? And it didn't mean anything at the beginning. You could have mistaken it as a throwaway, like, oh, fucking guy doesn't like trains. And you don't learn why until almost 5 minutes before the end of the movie.
Even then, though, you still don't get it. Like it's so subtle and it's in there that
this is probably the 10th or 11th time I've watched it. This is the first time I picked up on it.
I never picked up on it, and I've watched it recently. Like, I went through all of Nolan's movies. In fact, I need to take a crack out of Memento. I haven't seen that in a bit.
I need to see Memento. I need to see The Prestige. I know, fucking shoot me, right?
Prestige is something you will like. Memento, you would like.
Prestige already got ruined for me, but I'm trying to forget it. I'm trying to let enough time to pass to forget it.
No, but Prestige is good because when you watch it, it's not about the plot twist. It really, I mean, the plot twist is to get you back in, but to watch it again, to see these characters, I like duality. Okay. You know, character thinking this way, another character thinking that way. This guy's the good guy. No, he's the bad guy. No, he's the good guy. Forever. Right. That's what I like about these movies. The main character's a good guy. No, he's a bad guy.
But see, those are movies that you can go back and you could like.
That's what I like about Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, and God, dude, that's why I'm fucking chomping at the bit for Tenet to come out on 4K, man.
Dude, why? December 13th. Did you know that?
I'm gonna pre-order the.
Did you know that? December 13th. I looked it up.
Mega Big Dick Edition.
I'm buying that shit 4K. Goddamn.
I'm buying that.
Yeah, that's fucking great. Where were we? How did we get here? What were we talking about?
We're talking about Mandalorian.
Of course.
And we're talking about, how unexpected things happen, but it's earned. I don't know how he earned this one. They were like, I got tricked just like Mandalorian got tricked. You're gonna watch this fucking fish. Oh, let's see this thing. Oh shit. They threw the baby in there. Oh shit, fucking Mandalorian jumped in. Which fits his character because he's like pretty much his dad at this point.
Well, it's weird. Okay, hey. Before we even go there with that, is it his creed or him being his dad? That, like, I would like an episode to explore that.
He's trying to teach him the right thing to do.
No, he isn't.
No. Don't eat those eggs. He could just fucking eat
No. If he gave a shit, he would have did something. He would have made him learn his lesson or some bullshit like that. He covered for him.
Again, he's got the caring part down. But he doesn't have the parenting part down. He doesn't know that part of being a dad. Right?
That's an argument I'm not going to argue with you that. I'm just saying there should be an episode in which we can clearly go in the direction of, is it my creed that connects me to this guy? Or obviously in the first episode or second, I forgot what episode.
It is a good question to ask. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious that
how much of it is his creed and how much of it is giving a shit. And when we're going to find out, when he meets the Jedi and it's time to let him go.
Oh, that's good. Will he kill oh yeah, you never played that game. Never mind. No, but I like the idea of this for the good of good, I should give you up. I can't give you up.
But if it's easy, if it's like, here's the kid, my creed is done, and he turns around and walks away, then it was his creed. But he's like, damn, this is my kid.
But that's not gonna happen though. Like, in the sense that's gonna be good. Hey,
that's gonna be good. Hey, it's like it was like the question whether or not Rick loves Morty, or whether or not Rick just kind of has Morty around because he's bored, because he's a god, right? Yeah. So does he really give a shit about Morty? He puts him through a lot of shit.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
We did. And I think that question got answered in the episode where Morty gets assaulted in the bathroom.
Yeah, because why does he care?
Yeah, if Morty said, "Hey, that fucking dude tried to get on me in the bathroom," and he sticks his hand through the portal and blows him up,
But he
you
never
know,
said that. No, that's even no. It's even better than that.
you don't
Morty
even see what the conversation, and it's a
No.
2 second conversation.
Morty never says anything. He's ashamed. Rick is so inside this kid
Yeah,
that
he
he
figures it out.
sees it and he knows, and he doesn't bring it up.
Yeah,
He doesn't even go, "Hey, buddy, let's do."
you're
He
right.
starts being nice to him, and he decides to fucking murder this dude. And I have to say, I mean, like, you beat me to it. Yeah, you're right. I guess
No,
Rick.
well, I like the
Ooh,
way you said it better. He
yeah,
probably didn't even have to say anything because Rick cares about him. He could
yeah,
empathize,
yeah.
you
and
know.
and and vice versa too, because there's parts where Rick is doing not Rick Morty's doing things, and Rick never actually expressly said anything. He's just doing it. You know what I mean? So there's a love there that's intense, and I think that's the best kind of love where you don't have to say it.
Right.
You just kind of know,
And
even
it's
if
an
it's
active.
bad or good, and that's the beauty of it. But let's go back to Mandalorian. You're right. I think that's where it's going to be, where giving him to the Jedi, who, by the way, all intents purposes is the enemy of Mandalore, if you think about it. And he goes, this is the way, this is what I got to do, right? Fuck the creed, that kind of thing, And they're going to use Ahsoka Tana. They at the very end, that's what they
Yeah,
said.
this
Oh
season.
man, Rosaria Dawson, I think that's who it's going to be.
I wish they'd pick somebody that we didn't know, but I think she could. I think she might be able to disappear into it.
I don't know. Okay, so here we got. Yeah, Ahsoka Tano is in Rebels, she doesn't feel like the same character that she is in the show. In the show,
You know what?
she's
I haven't seen enough of her. That's when I need to go. I need to look up a primer. Disney Plus had a really good one right before that 5th season came out.
they had a
It was like
thing where I was watching them like to
it was
get
like
ready,
the essential Rebels and the
and it just
essential
disappeared.
Clone Wars. Yeah,
I googled it. I googled it and I started watching it in that way. But I mean, like, it was cool. Disney has the worst interface.
yeah, it sucks.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
it sucks.
horrid, dude. But I was like, fuck, I want to watch all these episodes, but I want to watch the entire season. And each episode has its own merit, but that's a long go because that's the old style of writing.
25 episodes of fucking season.
Yeah. Not
Five.
like now with 10
What's
episodes,
that for that?
26 episodes, man. That's fucking hard, dude. That's a hard commitment because there's so much shit you can watch in that time. You know what I mean? 26 episodes. But like the beauty of 26 episodes, and I'll tell you what it is because I watch Star Trek all the time, is they can level up characters in a way, and like
Yeah.
there's more to it. Like, for instance, there's an episode in Deep Space Nine about Worf and his girl. He marries her, and the thing is, this episode does not exist unless you have 26 episodes to, whatever to do. And he's like, he in one episode previous when they get married, he talks about, his beating heart defeats the gods, that kind of bullshit, right? And then he's all about honor. And his next mission, him and his girl are supposed to save this dude who's gonna save 1,000,000 lives, and she gets hurt and she's gonna die. And as he's going to save this one guy, that's his mission. That's who he is. His honor is to save this one guy. But at the same time, his wife is dying and she will die. And he has to choose between millions of people and his wife. And his heart, all he can hear is his heartbeat slowing down. And it's like a thing in which he realizes that, hey, if I save him, yeah, I save millions of lives, but I will die. But if I save her, I will live because that's my heartbeat. And that's because that's the whole marriage ceremony's
Right.
two heartbeats coming together. So he saves her and he gets demoted and all this bad shit goes down for him. But he explains to the captain, his God and savior, and goes, like, look, listen, I understood my vows, my wedding vows. And I thought to myself, like, this episode does not exist without having 26 episodes. You would never show an episode like this.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a damn good episode.
oh, it is. I'm just saying. But I mean, like, these things don't exist without 26 episodes. And Clone Wars does this. Clone Wars fucking does it. They figured it out. They don't waste time. they say, oh, we got to do a filler because we need to get 26 episodes. Let's do this. And they do. And
Well, the payoff is if they ever respect it again in the future.
Oh,
or if
they
ever
don't
reference it again or something. Or
no, I hear what you're saying on that, and that's a true statement. But in reality, is you have an episode where demonstrates their love that kind of adds to the other thing, the other episode, or a future episode. So when the character does die, you have that episode playing upon the episode before. So it's like a feedback loop. And you're just like, ugh. So Star Wars Rebels does that a lot. Like, so when there's a Star Wars Rebels and they go, what can one ship do? You have fucking 5 seasons of Clone Wars of this guy ripping apart the Empire, or not Empire, the Separatists, just by himself. So when you, the viewer, watching, and you're like, oh, that's Darth Vader. Oh, that's fucking Anakin. And they're like, what can one guy do? I'm like, well, let's think back of all the episodes. What can one guy do? He could do anything. And he rips everyone apart. It's like, in reality, 22 ships versus one guy, you're like, they never had a chance. They needed like 10,000.
He was the hero before.
He was not just the hero. He was the hero of heroes. You know? And that's why I love the show as opposed to the movies, because when you watch the show, which that's what it is. If you watch the show, that's the time between Clone Wars and Star Wars 3, the War of the Sith, or whatever the fuck. So that's oh man, it's so good. It's just so good. And they expand on the clones. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that shit. God damn it.
But
too bad I got this PlayStation 5 taking up my time now.
So you got the PlayStation 5. What do you think?
There's load times, dude.
What? You made me mad. You're making
load
me
times.
mad. For what game?
Miles Morales. It's only
Spider-Man.
like 5 or 10 seconds, but it's a load time. But
How
you
about
know what? If you wanted to load the same thing onto the PS4 Pro, it would probably take like 2 or 3 minutes, honestly. So I was playing the game with my girlfriend. You know, she was like, "Wow, that looks amazing." I was like, "I know, this looks fucking awesome." And I'm playing it, and then I'm looking at the windows. I'm like, "It's missing something." And then I'm looking at the shadows. I'm like, "There's something wrong." And I spent, man, credit to my girlfriend, because she sat there probably for like 45 minutes while I looked at my HDMI cables, started researching that shit, you know, looking at my settings, dude.
I've been
All over,
there.
moving my fucking TV. It's a big motherfucker, too, 75 inches inside of a goddamn cabinet, right? So, I mean, I'm moving that motherfucker. I'm looking at the back. I decided to connect it direct, and I'm like, no, it still looks the same. I go, what the fuck is going on? And I look, I had bought the PS4 version.
What?
PS4 version looked amazing. Amazing on the PS5.
And there was load times?
And there was load times. Then as I'm on the main screen, it says free upgrade to PS5 version. Press the button. 20 minutes later, the PS5 version is on there. It's installed. I'm playing. Holy shit, dude. The load times were actually about the same for the PS5 version and PS. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why. The load times are about the same, but dude. Yeah, it looks fucking amazing. Reflection.
Wait. How about, like, did you play, like did you see the thread? I was like, Tekken 7? Is there...
You know what? I haven't put Tekken 7 in there. I'll put Tekken 7 in there.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know, because like the load times is why I wouldn't buy it. It's because like Tekken 7 had like, I want to play, you know, you go to a fight.
Okay,
loads.
so I've been playing Dragon Age Inquisition, right?
Okay, there was no load time. Were there load times?
You take a party. If you're going into a new world, you pick your party, and then it gives you close to a minute to read some cards, you know? So they put up like 4 cards, like information cards on the screen, and you kind of click through them and read them, and they're long. There's a lot of fucking writing in there. It would take you about 20-30 seconds to read the whole.
But that's for you read it over time.
PS4, then PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
You could read it. They're tips.
Of course.
So
no. That's classic. That's classic in any game.
Yep. They go by in about 4 or 5 seconds now. There's no time to read the card.
Okay.
You don't have time to flip through the different cards that there are. Like, you got to flip through them quick to be able to see what the 4 cards are. And then it loads the next, but it's still loading. And then
Damn.
it did hitch. It hitched once when I was moving from the inside of this castle to the outside of the castle. It just went like, and then kept going. But that could be a software thing. You know, it probably never knew that it was going to be running this fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it got jittery.
But it only did that because it seemed like it was loading from the inside out and
Okay.
giving me bad guys. You know, populating bad guys. Draw distance. I'm not having any like weird things pop in out of nowhere. You know, like bushes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto on it pretty soon here. But Dragon Age has been taking up my time because it's just been so smooth. Like I'll be around a bunch of enemies, the frame rate doesn't drop. My sword is swinging.
This
My
is the
guy's still
PlayStation
moving.
4 version on the 5.
This is the PS. This is a 6-year-old game from 2014.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's a 4 on the 5.
PS5.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of bothers me that there's a load time.
Yeah, but it's almost nothing though, dude. Usually I would use that load time to like check my text or read like part of an article.
Yeah, but that I don't
have
give a
that
fuck.
time.
I
I go to open my phone and it's coming up.
All right. How about man, dude? That's what, like, the fighting games is where I count, where I care.
Oh, and just you know, to remove any question marks, I installed the game on the SSD on the PlayStation, so
yeah,
it's not running
what the
off.
fuck was Weddle going on about? I didn't get that. SSD, HD, what the fuck? Solid state drive, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe he's late to learning the stuff. We watched the same Breakout episode. I don't think he's been as neck deep in it as.
Yeah, but
as
like,
we
I
are.
don't get, like, why is there a difference? There's only one thing, or two things: external drive, and the thing has a SSD. That's it. I thought
It has a built-in SSD, the custom SSD,
solid state. Yeah,
solid state, and then you can use an external. So I think he was
yeah,
talking
that's
about
it. Just two things, right?
because Anthony brought up using his external to run the games. So you take your external, you plug it into the PS5, and any games that you had stored on the external, the PlayStation 5 is reading it right off of there, almost as if this was a CD.
Yeah,
know?
that makes
And it doesn't
that makes sense.
and it doesn't install the game on its SSD, which is cool.
Well, it couldn't, because the SSD
You can. That's what I did. So I took my Dragon Age, not the save game. I took the game info that installs on the PS Pro and I moved it onto the PS5.
Of course, that makes sense. The
And
SSD is taking the word hard drive. It's the brain.
it's
It's
solid.
a-
No, it's not the brain.
It-
It's
No.
where the
No.
information is stored.
The
Brain.
information is, you're right, because CPU is its own thing. But
Yeah.
an SSD, instead of a hard drive, an SSD is solid state, meaning it doesn't move. There's no moving pieces to it.
Right.
So here's the information. Of course, if the information's there, it will move faster than, say, external into the system. That makes sense.
Not even that. External with a spinning disc.
Yeah, no, I
reading
agree.
it like a record player.
I
Then
agree.
sending it
Yeah,
through
yeah.
USB.
It just makes sense
2.0.
that the data on the actual PlayStation will move faster. I don't know why that's a thing. Why that's a thing to even discuss. It just makes sense that the thing on the PlayStation will move faster than something that's off of another.
For PS4 games, you're actually probably just as safe going with an external because the load times they're going to be pretty quick. I don't know if it's like pre-saving some on its.
But that's what I'm getting at, though. I want to know what a tech. All I give a shit is about Tekken. That's all I care about.
Well,
because when you play, all that I care about is pick a character.
It could be, it could be loading off the disc because it is using some of the disc, right? But for all intents and purposes, I mean, all my disc information is stored on the SSD.
But I have games
installed.
I have games that are on the external that are fighting, not external, that are on the actual system that are fighting games like UFC.
That would be interesting to have Tekken 7, the digital version, installed on the PS5, playing it to see what the load times are.
It has to be fast. That's what the fucking marketing was. The fucking load times are gone.
Okay, let me test it out.
We'll fucking test it. Jesus. We were talking about Mandalorian. We didn't even get past the fucking baby.
What do you want to talk about, the baby?
No, we didn't get past the baby going into the
Oh, yeah,
thing.
the
The
baby
whole
going into the
episode
thing?
onto itself. What I mean, like,
Oh, okay. So then he's underneath there, and he's underneath the steel
yeah,
grating, and I'm like, "Fuck! How the fuck is he gonna get out of this?" And then they show it. That was another thing that I wasn't expecting.
other
I was like,
Mandalorians.
"Oh,
I didn't
that was
see that
awesome!"
coming.
And then I saw the painting, and I was like, "Holy shit! She's from the anime." And then then I was thinking, I was trying so hard because I was watching with my girlfriend. I was trying so hard not to guess what was gonna happen next. I was like, "I bet she's gonna take off her fucking helmet." Oh, she took off her fucking helmet.
Yeah, when she took off her helmet, it was like what the fuck
Yeah.
is
Well,
happening?
I was like, if they stay true to the cartoon, she's gonna take off her helmet, and Mando's gonna make a deal about it,
Of
right? He's
course,
gonna say something.
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was so good.
Yeah, because he
It
was
was
like,
great.
"Wait, where'd you get that armor? We're
Yeah.
Mandalorian," and like the
Right. He's all, this
disrespect
is
that.
not the way.
Yeah. So, but like, do you think she's telling the truth that he's from a cultist?
He's from the Watch.
No, but like they make it sound like it's a bad thing. Like,
No, not they don't make it sound like it's a bad thing,
yeah, they
but
did.
but
Cults,
they're radical.
zealots.
Well, I mean, zealot sounds bad, right? But it's just somebody that adheres to the letter of the original way of practicing something.
In writing, if you invoke the word zealots, that means they're bad guys. I mean,
Yeah,
like
because usually
thematically.
yeah, I mean, because it's got a bad rap, right?
Yeah. So like, are they lying? You think they didn't seem like they were lying?
No, I don't think they're lying. I don't think they're lying because you saw it. No, because we saw their society.
So they're
We
bad
saw
guys.
their culvert, the way that they operated and did things, they seemed more fanatic. Because man, they had an argument, and she could stop them with, "This is the way."
But they didn't. She just let it play out.
No, she did. She stopped them from fighting. And I'm talking about.
No, she didn't.
Mando was having an argument with some other dude.
The bigger dude.
Yeah, they were about to throw it down, and she fucking stopped them. She was like,
she didn't say no. She let them fight, and she watched over them, and then
yeah, but then she just fucking said a couple words, and it was done.
Yeah, but they fought though, and it felt like she just watched it happen. They just kept showing her helmet, and she's just watching. Watch that episode again.
Yeah, but
she doesn't stop the fight.
Yeah, but they didn't full on, hey, try to kill each other. And when she saw that it was going to get to that point, that's when she stopped them.
That's true.
Because she kind of reins them back in through, their hardcoreness of the way.
I'd have to watch that episode again because I think it plays out a little bit different. Hey, what'd you think about the episode prior?
I liked it a lot,
dude. Okay,
I don't know why I was reading that. Oh, it doesn't really further the story or this. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Why do people have problems with a straight up adventure where they didn't invent random shit for filler, where it actually kind of grows the relationship between him and the child,
in the world
too.
Yeah. Like when so when they're flying, right? And the X-Wings come in, and it's like, hey, switch to channel 4. And they go, and then all of a sudden, and the X-Wings open up.
They open up. I was like, oh
shit got real. And he knew, and he fucking knew. And I thought that was awesome. And they were like, they're against each other. At the very end, they save him. And it's like, I didn't really get what they were talking about, but like, it was kind of cool. They saved him.
So in the Prison Break episode,
yeah,
he stops them from killing that one guy that they drop in on, the guy that's watching the different security monitors.
Yeah.
And he was like a little guest cameo thing because he's the voice of Anakin in Clone Wars.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wait.
That was like
that guy who dies. That's what Bill Burr kills him, right?
They save him. Or Mando talks them into not killing him or something. He saves them. Mando saves them.
Okay.
And then catches three of those jerks.
Okay.
Right. And so they're like, wait, you helped apprehend these 3, they're bounties. Oh, and you saved the life of blah 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 blah, or you helped so and so blah blah blah. And then so they do him a solid by shooting the spiders off of him, but then he's all, hey, could you guys help me with the hull? They're like, yeah, fuck you, and they take off.
Yeah, that was cool, dude. When it was no shit. Like me, this is what I love about Mandalorian, because me, my kid, and my wife were watching this shit, and it's like a moment, right? Because I like everything stops for this fucking show now, and this is how good this is. It like it stops for a week, and this is the argument against binge watching Netflix shit. They need to bring this back because like for that time we're ready, we're there, and we're fucking watching this. And when the spiders fucking got in there, I was like, ooh shit! And then when they got in the ship, it got real. Like no shit. I was scared. I was kind of scared, right? We were like holding each other, and I was like, but then when they got in the fucking ship, which I thought they'd be safe, I was like, oh shit!
I'm thinking in my head, they just got to get to the ship and they'll be safe. Then they get there and the spiders are getting
and then they get to the cockpit. I was like, fuck, and like. I thought that was a great moment that they created for me and my family. I'm just saying, like, it was like one of those moments that will be ushered 20 years from now. I'll be like, remember the time we all got scared and shit? Because it wasn't like I'm not scared of spiders, honestly, but like that scene itself was terrifying. And like they went into your home. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And they fight. That was great.
Because the Razor Crest had been a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what's weird? Okay, so let's talk about this. Baby Yoda eating eggs. Let's go.
Man, they're trying to cancel him.
What's that shit about?
That's fucking stupid. Get the fuck out of here.
They're eggs.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. They were unfertilized eggs, and they're trying to say,
because we eat our unfertilized eggs all the time.
Right?
Eggs.
So should we be punishing ourselves too? Should we be canceling ourselves too? Should we be canceling all the people that eat eggs?
But they are sentient beings, though. That's the thing. Like we're not eating like eggs of like a human. Like there's
But, okay, but where do you draw the line though?
Exactly. Now, okay, and what I loved about that episode is towards the end, right? So he's been eating these fucking eggs. And at the very end, it seemed like he learned his lesson, right? Because everyone's like, she's of value. He shouldn't have done that. Everyone learned their lesson. And then he fucking looks at her and then eats that egg. He's like, and like, it's like he learned nothing. He learned how to hide it.
And when the eggs are leaving in the episode, in this week's episode, when the eggs, he's like, fuck, damn it, they're leaving.
Well, do you think he wanted to eat the baby? Because he's eaten things that size before. He's eaten frogs bigger than him.
Yeah.
So when the egg is born, it's like a fucking thing, and he's playing with it.
I don't know.
There's no world where I do not think he's not trying to eat that.
You know what I thought? I thought those eggs were going to end up being something evil, that it was a good thing that he was eating them. Like a legit, like those eggs were going to be Hitler or something. I don't know.
Well, if you think about this baby Yoda, do you think he's a good guy? Or do you think he's evil? Because I do think that he's evil.
I think it'd be really fun to play with that nature versus nurture question, where he was engineered to be evil and might have those tendencies to not care.
Because he starts force choking people and shit.
But he also force heals Grief Karga. He sees that he's hurting and he force heals him. And the force choking was because he saw somebody who he perceived as hurting the guy that's been protecting him.
Yeah.
You know? So, but then again, he's 50 years old. So he does have some life experience, right? So was he able to perceive those 50 years of experience the same way that a 50-year-old would perceive those experiences? Or is his brain still developing at the same speed as a 3-year-old, but over the course of 50 years, you know?
If what you say is true, then nothing that Mando does will work.
Right.
Because it's
he could be entering the age where you start forming those long-term values.
Okay, so Yoda is 800
after the age of 3 is where you start forming concrete memories.
Yeah, no, but Yoda is long term. Think about it. Yoda is 800 years old when he dies.
Again, so we don't know. He could reach his cognitive peak at 75.
Well, if 50 is 3, like we're all agreeing that he's about 3.
We're saying 53 looks like 3, talks like 3. We don't know if it thinks like 3.
It's tough. It's tough.
I
But going off of what we have, what we got, he's
yeah,
50.
forgetting the 50-year-old thing. Let's say he's progressing
3.
like he's 3.
No, so
yeah,
if he's 3 and it took him 50 years to achieve that, nothing that Mando does should affect them, because I mean, technically, I mean, like 10 years is what, like half of
again,
6 months.
we don't know, right? But I mean, there are things from our childhood that kind of inform our long-term decision making.
That's true.
There's trauma is good and bad that we positive trauma, catharsis, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But there are things good and bad that kind of guide, what we decide in the future.
It's tough.
Even
It's
if
tough.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're doing 50 and like a conversion in that way, because for all we know, 50 years is just 50 years.
Well,
He's
that's what
still
I'm saying.
3.
Let's say we throw that out and we're looking at a 3-year-old
Okay.
child.
Yeah.
If we throw that out and we're looking at a 3-year-old child, I still think I think he's impressionable. I think he's impressionable. I think it shows when he tries to protect Mando against Cara Dune. Cara Dune?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I want to say
wondering-
Cara thrice, because that's Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure her name is
No,
Cara
you're
Dune.
right. You're right.
He force heals Grief Karga because at the time it seems like he's trying to help them, right?
Yeah.
His force sensitivity, I guess it's not there to where he was able to sense that Grief Karga was lying.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, did the Jedi have that power to know who's lying? I mean, they feasibly they should.
They can. I feel like they can.
Right?
But they could tell each other, search your feelings.
Yeah,
I can see it. You should be able to see it too.
But not many of them do that though. Like they don't like, oh, you're lying. You know what I mean? Like I haven't really seen any of that, ever.
That's true. You're right.
But I agree though. They should have that power. Oh well. That show is so fucking good. Oh my god, dude.
Damn good, man. It's damn good.
I look forward to it. It's something I look forward to.
Yeah, I think I shared this last time. One of my students was saying, I like the old school Star Trek more. Star Wars more. And I was like, dude, then this is right in your damn wheelhouse. This is where you should be watching this then. Because it's paying off a lot of the things from, the original trilogy and going back, now going back to Clone Wars.
Kanye West said the first original Star Wars, not original, the newer Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, the Anakin's legacy. He goes, "This shit's good," and I was just like,
"Wait, 7, 8, 9?
No, the 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Okay."
He said that's a good shit, and I was like, "No, it wasn't."
I like it. I can enjoy it, but it's hard to watch it and not be hyper aware of the flaws.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're watching, you're like, the Asian space traders and the Middle Eastern junkyard barter guy, and it's just like, come on, man.
That's what bothers you, not the sandwich.
No, and then the storytelling and
Yeah.
the obvious arcs and tropes and was it archetypes and all that shit.
It would be awesome if Anakin turns out he was raping her in the sense of he was doing the Jedi mind trick to her the whole time, because like as an alpha female who is progressive, the hero of the story, really,
it was out of character for her to fall in love with him.
And no, and like him being a Jedi master, being like being teenage hormonal, of course he's gonna fucking force her because she's all into him and shit, and it just doesn't make sense,
Yeah, it was out of character. It's like, oh, Padme, I just killed the whole village, even the children, and she's like, I'm sorry.
I know. No, but when you watch episode 2, and that's really where all of this falls apart, is episode 2. 1 and 3 really kind of work, but 2 is the one that's the shittiest. Yeah. Because when you watch 2, he'll say things like, they should be beaten into submission. And the shit that he says is so bad. It's just bad. It doesn't even make sense. And then like she goes, that's not the right. And this is before the war, by the way. This is before, like, this is some shit he should say during the Separatist War, but there's no war going on. So he's saying all this shit. I should be the master. I should be this. I should be that. And then she's like, no, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't. She says things that are logical, and he says things that are way out of there. And I was just like, oh, then you watch like the third movie, you have that bad taste in your mouth. But if you just let that go, it kind of makes sense of everything he said in 2 that spill over to 3. But why didn't he say that then? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't like that he got tricked into the dark side. I would prefer that he got seduced by the dark side.
Yeah, like kill a person here.
The power, and they kind of started going with it in 2, and then they abandoned it in 3.
What do you mean?
Because in 2, he kind of teases the idea of one person making the decisions for the better of everybody else, and Padme even calls him out on it. She's all, that's a dictatorship. And he's like, well, yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea, right? So he's toying with this idea that if you're powerful enough, you could make the decisions to help a large number of people. I would have liked him to have fallen into the dark side as a means to an end.
Yeah.
To help people.
Yeah.
And then eventually becoming bad, instead of getting stone cold tricked so that he could try and save his girl, who he ended up hurting after he got tricked into, it was like, what are you doing, dude? You did all this for her. You force choked her, and lost all sense.
Yeah. It feels like 3, although long as fuck, by the way, it feels like 3 was rushed because you got your Clone Wars, right? And they take their time turning them dark. But like, I mean, if it just gave them time to go to that direction, killing children was such a giant leap in the same movie. It should have been like kill people to achieve something.
I feel like the story could have been more intimate. They were trying to do something that should have been really nuanced and careful. The transition of Anakin to the dark side. And they try to put it in the middle of this big old intergalactic war. And they were trying to satisfy this upper part of action and this lower part of nuance. And I would
think that war would be able to galvanize those, like light up those parts of the brain for
that's the way they should have done it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, war is perfect. War for them to have a war, you could do so much. But like, it felt like it wasn't there. Like the writing wasn't there. Like he goes from, I have to say, Padme, okay, I'll kill these kids. I don't get it. I'm not there, If only there was a buildup, like kill Mace Windu. I think that would have been a thing. Then there you go.
You know what? The Jedi Order, they're not corrupt, but they're too stuck in their ways, and they don't get anything done.
And so to move forward.
We need to tell them what to do. And then the Jedi become the resistance, and they rise up against the power that has installed itself. And now it's like, you know what? They're rising up against us. Now we got to put them down.
Yeah. How do you get to a point where you kill kids though? I mean, like, I'm trying to think in my head.
I don't think they needed to do that.
Yeah.
I really don't think that it makes him irredeemable.
Yeah.
You get to the Empire, you get to Return of the Jedi, and you're like, it's kind of hard to feel bad for this guy. He killed kids on his own.
Yeah.
Went into a room and fucking murdered those kids that came out of hiding because they trusted him.
I have to say, like, that the way they pushed, it felt like they were really. They wrote to a point, but they didn't earn it. And
there was no they, dude. It was one guy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There was no they. The they is what saved A New Hope.
Empire Strikes Back.
And Empire Strikes Back. And
New Hope more prevalently.
Luna.
Because New Hope you get from the fucking Death Star just out there. to holy shit, they're about to kill us. We gotta fucking kill them.
A New Hope, you get Brian De Palma telling them, "Hey man, this movie doesn't make any fucking sense."
Yeah.
And be blunt,
Yeah.
Brian De
Yeah.
Palma. And who was it? Fuck, he wrote Patton. God damn it, and then he did Godfather.
Godfather.
Both those guys told George Lucas this movie is incoherent. You got to tighten it up, and that's where the edit comes. Did you ever watch it?
No,
how Star Wars saved in the edit?
No, I didn't watch it.
God damn it! I'm giving you this fucking homework, Kevin. You got to watch it. It's so much fun.
Well, anyways, like to kill children, I think that it should have been baby steps to the point where like he shoots a missile and like you got like the bad guys and some kids.
Where he's pushed into you got to create this set of values for him.
Yeah.
And it needed to happen in episode 1 where he is who he is, and he's gonna change, but he's only gonna change because as a means to an end. He's gonna accept these other values because it's gonna support his core.
Yes.
But it changed. At the end, it was like, I want to save Padme. She's gonna die. I want to save her. I'm gonna do whatever I can, even kill children to save her.
Yeah.
It's wrong. You can't. I mean,
you had to, there's two problems in that. One, you had to build a tree for Padme, because Padme's just with him, and it doesn't make any sense.
She's just there. After all, she's just there.
If they created a situation where he is nothing without her, like his life was so shitty to have her like a pit bull, right? He's like the feeling of losing this love, I will kill everything.
It needed to be. He wanted this power as a means to an end to help the galaxy and prevent famine, prevent poverty, prevent slavery, like what he had to live through, what his mom sacrificed through. To get that power, so that to stop that. On the way, falling in love with Padme, who was going to have to force him into a spot where he could either get that power to change the galaxy or follow his heart and follow his love. And the split is what kills Padme.
I think that'd be too much. I think the evil here is if you make him so in love with her in the sense that she saved him for so much, without her he's nothing, right? Like if you create a situation where his life is terrible and she is his holiness, right? She saves him from this, right? And to be without this light is worse than death, right? So that's why he would kill children, to maintain this thing.
Man, you want to get to this kill children thing, huh?
Well, I mean, like, you're gonna validate him to be the ultimate evil, and you're right.
I don't think they should have. I really
Darth Vader.
I don't
ultimate
think
evil.
Have done that. I don't think they should have done that.
To create the legend of the ultimate evil. I mean, nothing beats killing children, dude.
Well, it's like the bad boy argument between Bart Simpson and fucking Eric Cartman in South Park, right?
Okay.
Did you ever watch the episode where they meet each other?
They do.
Bart Simpson. Well, it's not like canon in The Simpsons, right? But Cartman's like, "Oh man, don't mess with me, I'm bad." And Bart's like, "Oh yeah, well I cut the head off a statue one time," or some piddly ass bullshit, right?
You sure it's not Bart Simpson
wait,
and Stewie?
And then Cartman comes back with, "Oh yeah, you did that. I liquefied this kid's parents and then I fed them to him."
Yeah.
That is evil, irredeemable evil, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to have a story that ends with redemption at the end of Jedi, because it already happened.
Okay.
It was already the movie's already been made. You can't make him irredeemable in the prequels.
You're right. Killing children was a step too far.
That for a story, yes.
If he destroyed a planet and kids were there, I give you that. But hey Master Anakin, what do we do?
To be able to do it, see them, know that they trust him,
they kill him. That's too far. You're right.
I don't know if you're being facetious or not, but killing a planet is just as bad as killing a bunch of kids, right? If not worse.
No, killing a planet is like I press a button and people die. I mean, we do it all the time. We have cell phones. We slave out fucking kids all the time. We have cell phones. And it's impartial, and so you can get away with that nonsense.
In a story, it's different, especially.
In a story, you can get away with that too because you can resonate with that. But when you got a little kid saying, "Hey, man, we besties, right? Oh, we're besties." I mean,
that wasn't war. That was murder.
Yeah, that's fucking hard. If it was something where you destroyed an entire planet, I give it to you because it's pretty impartial. It's fucked up, but it's pretty impartial, and people can get behind that, and they can redeem you and whatever goes in their brain because they do that all the time.
It was war, Star Wars, not Star murder.
Exactly. But when you go to kill kids in that way, it's so personal.
Yeah, that's the thing. You saw them.
It's a classic writing mistake in which you want to do the most grandiose thing when the most like, oh, he killed all these people, he did all these fucking things, raped these fucking people. But in reality, just betraying somebody is enough to get the message across.
Now, if you wanted to turn him into an irredeemable character, then you do that, because then at the end, when they kill him, when they kill that character,
yes,
and they fucking chop him to bits and shit,
you're like, yes,
fuck him up. You're like, that's right, asshole. That's what you get.
But that doesn't happen. You're right, because you're working with.
They want us to shed a tear for him in Return of the Jedi. They want us to feel bad when the kind old man face with the blue eyes comes out and he's like, "Oh, your sister, she was right."
Yeah. You're right. To make him redeemable, you had to make his fucked up act be a little bit less fucked up, Like him murdering people's one thing, but man, dude, nothing gets, fuck, dude. Killing kids, it just makes that part bad.
And murdering them to save Padme. Again, if it had been, I'm trying to get this power so I can help the galaxy. This government's not working. The Jedi Order's not working. I need the power so that I can get through all this bureaucracy, drain the swamp.
I know, I hear you, but like, see, once again, you're going to that mistake of grandiose. They didn't build Padme to that extent. You can make Padme up to a level where saving her is like saving the universe. She
was supposed to be the political antithesis of what Anakin was going at, and they started it in 2. They started it in 2, and that's why it should have been like, okay, I'm almost about to get this power, and Padme's like, dude, that's not the way things are supposed to be. And then he has to choose, and for some reason that choice ends up killing Padme. I don't know how.
No, but I'm saying
down the writing room and fucking hash it out.
If they did good writing, they would have created Padme as a character that is like, okay, so first things first, you have to make Anakin's life terrible, and it's Padme who saves her and saves him, and like through her kindness, you want to be with her. You can't imagine a life without her. That's how in which you go and create a situation where, well, fuck, without her, you're nothing. And how could you go from, being slaved out and shit to her, and then she saved you. They never created that situation.
They didn't, and it would have been so easy too, because instead they make her the cynic that wanted to just make a deal and get the fuck off the planet.
Exactly.
She wanted to leave him there.
They even gave an opportunity. He was a slave as a kid.
She should have been the one that said, "Hey, we're here. We could save this kid. Let's fucking take him."
Yes. Yes, they had it in the first movie. They had it,
and it would have been cool if Obi-Wan had been a bit of a cynic, because he was young, indoctrinated. Mm-hmm. He's like hardcore. He's like the right when they come out of boot camp. Right when they come out of boot camp, and they're indestructible, right? And they know exactly what's up, and they're not gonna die, and they're fucking hardcore, Billy Badass to the max. So he should have been like, Master, this is not the way.
Yeah,
because he's a zealot, because he's still going through school and all that training.
Yeah,
And Qui-Gon is like,
older.
I've been around. I've seen the bureaucracy. These old guys are full of shit.
Yeah,
I agree with Padme. We should save this kid.
I know.
And then through the relationship of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan says, well, fuck, out of respect for Qui-Gon, and he fucking sacrificed.
I'll deal with this shit.
Then it comes out later that Obi-Wan wanted to leave him on that fucking planet, and that's what starts to drive the rift. We should rewrite the original fucking trilogy.
Fuck, right? Because like it makes sense though, because like if she's the one who saves him and he believes in that, and then she becomes a deity to him, and to be closer to God is a big thing, and then to remove God from him, he will fucking annihilate universes.
Okay, so I was 12, okay, and I'm pretty sure this was at National City Middle. So I was 12, and we did one of those like campus visits to university, SDSU.
Okay.
And everybody got paired up and then matched to a student from San Diego State that had volunteered to show them around the school for, like 3 hours or something like that, right? I didn't get paired up with anybody. I was newer. I didn't get paired up. I got lone gunned. They gave me this super cute girl. Okay.
Oh, nice.
And it was just me and her. And I'm 12 and she's in college and she's so cool. Right. And I'm just like, good. She showed me around the school. She took me to the dorms. The girls were like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I was a pretty boy, little 12-year-old back then. I was cute.
Yeah.
And so it was such a great experience. I decided I was going to go to San Diego State.
And you did.
At that age, I said, I'm going to this fucking school.
And
I'm going to this fucking. So this idea that you're saying, that at a young age you could be impressed in a way that you set this goal for yourself, because then it wasn't to get girls. It wasn't that. I wasn't expecting to go to San Diego State and find that girl or anything. It wasn't that. It was more like, God damn, that was such a great experience, and she was so cool, and I was just impressionable at that age, that I was just like, this is awesome. I'm going to this school. And so I can see what you're saying. If Padme had left that impression on him and made it a thing where, yeah, you're right, he can't see any other option. I didn't see any other option. I didn't look at any other fucking school. I thought about, Air Force Academy through San Diego State, because they have an Air Force Academy there. It was state all the way for me. So it should have been, Anakin, Padme all the way, but at the same time wanting to get this power to save other kids like himself and his mom and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could have
worked. At some point having to choose between the two.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you started small, see, they went too big. If you started small, like, hey, this is my woman, she saved me, and how could I do anything else other than save her? I'm her knight. And then they keep going, and then you have to pick. You have to pick. Well, shit, I know she doesn't want to be saved. That's her fucking weird way of thinking. But I'm her knight. Even through death, I need to save her. And then so he decides to do things that are bad. And you can do that. You can make that argument. Why does he kill this planet? Well, fucking to save her. Do you remember the time when he was getting whipped? That didn't happen. I'm just saying that if they created a good slave moment, I mean, you get a slave and you get a kid getting whipped and shit, and then this bitch saves you.
Or they could have alluded more to the fact that they could have had him point out more.
Yeah, like broken bones.
I couldn't save my mom, but I'm gonna save her.
Yeah, dude. When they kill her in this,
he never outright said it. He never outright said, "I couldn't save my mom, but I'm gonna save her."
Yeah, when in the second movie, when whatever Palpatine hires people to kill her, like you have a situation in which your mom dies a horrible fucking death, and you couldn't stop it, and you start killing kids and shit. That's so stupid. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
The kid killing thing, exit out. I would have rather seen him try to get power to save the galaxy. And then, oh wait, I can also have the power to save Padme, but Padme doesn't want that because that power also leads me to being a tyrant.
No, I think a twisted logic. That's what makes the beauty, the tragedy. She wants one thing, he can do it in his way, but she's like, no, that's not what I wanted. No, this is what you wanted. You wanted the world to be, you wanted the world, the universe to be like this. I can make it this. But this is not what I wanted. And you go, fuck. And then, like, you know, through an accident or whatever, she dies or whatever the fuck. I mean, like, that's really the tragedy. Something that could have been avoided that wasn't. And that's what they needed to do. I mean, like, fuck, it just sucks the way they created this weird ass love triangle and shit with this Anakin. I mean, that's I guess that's good too. What do you think about the avenue of Obi-Wan and he thought that they were cheating on him? Like, I don't know. Where do you that's an avenue.
The Anakin thought that Obi-Wan and Padme were
Yeah.
scheming.
Yeah,
he thought they were scheming. That was stupid.
Right? But that's an avenue, right? Like, here you got this chick you love. And then
that was lazy writing.
Betrayal. Yeah, I think our way is better. It just is.
A real betrayal. Like Obi-Wan, you know, he finds out Obi-Wan was like, hey man, we can't take this kid. We should leave this kid here. You know?
Yes.
And then it comes out later on. It's like, you would have left me on that planet.
I was getting fucking
like my
raped.
You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You're just like the Jedi Order.
Yes. The Jedi Order let me get slaved out. Yeah. And you were part of that. And you got to go. You fucking got to go. Oh, shit. They really should have harnessed the slavery angle.
Yeah.
Rather than the love angle. I mean, like, they should have created a savior out of Padme, really fucking dredge up the slavery for him. And then, so therefore,
there is this idea of an outer rim and the inner system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the inner systems are all the ones that are the kind of the center of the galaxy. That's where all the commerce is happening. That's where all the rich people
Of
live.
course.
That's the uptown place.
Yeah.
The outer rim, that's where all the people that can't afford to live in the inner rim live. That's like the rural areas out there on the edges where there's lawlessness and shit like slavery goes down. You know?
Yeah, but in the Jedi just let that shit happen.
And they let it. Why do they let it happen? They get to live in their fucking tower and they're having a good time. You know.
But you know what's cool about the Jedi is that's a very advanced way of thinking. This is like God. You know, this is the way it is. I'm not here to force my will on people. They have free will. This is the way it is. If I kept forcing my will on people, then I'm no better than the dark side. You know what I mean? Because dark side is beautiful because it's like, I want this. That's what we do. I want
because I have the power to take it. But here's another argument that I heard that I heard online. It was that the Jedi Order was not a pure Jedi Order anymore. It was more like a bureaucracy and a tool of a corrupt government. It let itself get corrupt and lose its power because even Yoda was like, you know what, I'm not able to see anymore. You know, I'm not able to see what's going on anymore. We're losing our power. You know, something is clouding us. You know what I'm saying? So like this argument that the Jedi Order was not the true Jedi Order anymore, not a
I hear that, but that wasn't presented.
Yeah, right. But that would have made it easier to fight against them and to give Anakin an avenue to say, you know what, they're done because they're not the true Jedi anymore. You know, look what they would have let happen on this other planet. Fucking Obi-Wan would have let me suffer on there.
That would have been beautiful if they went that direction, but they didn't. That's where we're standing. Hey, let's go. I gotta go. I gotta pee. I gotta go.
What? I'm kidding.
It's 3 fucking hours. Hey, shut the fuck up. All right. Hey,
this is a good one. God
yeah, it was. Hey, it's because we spent a week off. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. As always, if you like our podcast, please like and share. We're on Spotify, YouTube, all that bullshit. If you want to leave a comment, we will argue to the death. And we'll talk about it. So as always, be the better person than you were yesterday. Be that tomorrow person today. You know, if you're going to do those 10 push-ups tomorrow, do them today. And always be awesome. All right. Signing out.
Peace out.
Peace out. I don't even know how to hit stop.